Even the snap this time. We live. Welcome back to that We Got Action podcast, episode 21 coming at y'all. We back again, another week, still grinding, the squad. All right, let's roll. NBA week 1 down. I know y'all are excited. We've been ready for it. We're going to be running through a quick recap of how the first week went down. I think there were some surprises, bro.
A lot of surprises.
There is.
I mean, we were
yeah.
talking about it before we even got Isaac on there about the Jazz. That shit had me dying. Some rookies are showing up. We can recap our Bulls, of course. Isaac's Suns. NFL weekly recap. We'll go through all that. Yeah, kind of do a quick. College football wasn't as cool as it normally is this week. It was pretty stable. And then World Series time. I'm excited for that. I'll be honest, I haven't watched my fair share of baseball as much as I normally do. It was just tough not having the White Sox to watch. So,
And it's also called adulthood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
called adulthood.
Fact. Well, I mean, I to be honest, this week I was watching a lot of basketball, and then last week I was watching football. I'll be watching football instead. To be honest, I've been heavy into football. Fantasy finals. Shit got me. Yeah,
I keep the football on.
I had finals last week. I was.
At least you got more off your chest for this week or the last few weeks? Little break or something? Or
nope.
I just right into it.
Monday. Yep.
That's how Carly is. All right, so let's get into it. Week 1 down. Let's just kind of go over it. There's only one undefeated team, or I guess Milwaukee as well.
They're undefeated.
They don't count.
Milwaukee,
they gonna play any games or
Milwaukee is 2-0, and then
it's all about them Blazers.
But they look good.
Oh,
well, I think
the
key the key for them is obviously Damian Lillard. He's come back healthy. You know, he's putting up 30 pretty much now the first 4 games of the season. But Anthony Simons is helping it. Nurkic is playing out of his mind.
Shaden Sharp.
Do not forget the impact of Jeremy Grant either.
Jeremy Grant.
that came out wrong.
Jerome.
Yeah,
he blew up that first game too, offensively.
Yes.
So who else?
Didn't he get a game winner against the Lakers?
No. Dame hit a dagger.
Yeah, Dame did
before that, and then they just kind of Lakered it up. I don't even know if I want to waste my breath on them this week. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I do. I'm ready.
No, we gotta be the opposite of the mainstream media and not talk about them. You turn on
ESPN, they don't deserve time. When they lost their time. Okay.
You turn on any
but how are they getting air? How are they getting media time?
It's because it's LeBron and Lakers. It's the two of the most marketable things in the NBA. All they talk about is Zion and
move on from it.
The Lakers.
I'm just saying, man. It's not Russ's fault. It's Anthony Davis's fault. They need to trade him. They need to trade Anthony Davis.
He's been the most inefficient jump shooter in the NBA over the last 2 years.
Bro, that video of was that Nurkic who just turned around on him?
Yep.
Didn't even chase him to the corner.
Come on, bro. Anthony Davis.
Side of the back
he said, "Fuck that." I ain't going
AD is shooting 20% from the 3-point line. And y'all are talking about.
I think the problem is that he's even attempting threes. Yeah. Just get his ass down low, bro.
He doesn't want to get down low.
Because he's built like paper, bro.
Yeah, but they control the media. So then whenever all the clips you see are Russ airballing or flanking a jump shot, rather than the possessions where he wins 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in a row.
We were talking about what pre-episode or pre-recording. We were talking about them hand wrapping the top 4 pick for the fucking Pelicans this upcoming year.
It is
absolutely ridiculous.
Everybody who is listening, the Pelicans have an opportunity to get Victor Wembanyama. God forbid.
Yeah, or Scoot, even if they don't get the first.
Exactly.
So think about that. They're going to be probably a top 5-6 seed.
And you all have to understand, if the Pelicans get Victor Wembanyama, you're going to see the amount of length on the floor between him and Brandon Ingram. And me and Christian cracked before the episode, and it was like,
and Herb Jones.
Baseline to baseline. And Herb.
They're going to be handing each other up the ball from baseline to the half court.
What is
that? And then handing it to the other one.
Like at that point?
It's ridiculous. Is what it is.
But let's talk about what's your current surprises or hot starts. Obviously, we talked about it already a little bit with the Jazz.
I was gonna say San Antonio and Utah. I would say are the 2 biggest ones. I would say in both conferences, honestly. I mean, you could throw in there the Heat and the Sixers starting off really slow. I know you guys didn't rate the Heat too high going into this season, anyways. But I definitely think Utah at 3-1. I'm annoyed that they smacked 3 probably future playoff teams, but then lose to the fucking Rockets.
Yes.
But I think the Spurs have been playing people hard, and I think that just is a testament to the coaching.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
whether it's youth or not, Pop's gonna have these guys ready to at least come out and compete every night.
I think given the reins to some of these, like KJ's really looking like he's able to be a top option on a team.
He's a dog.
And that's what they didn't role. And that's what they didn't know if Keldon Johnson could actually like be like, they knew he could score, but like they didn't know if he could be the lead guy. And after getting that contract, is showing that. So I mean, I think it's more so too having literally the youngest team team in the league, but also being able to implement your system. You don't have to worry about no egos. Like these guys are just getting into the league and they have to buy into something. So I think it's like you said, the coaching and the system that they're actually playing in. They're playing hard. I mean, you can't even doubt them for that. I don't think anybody expected them to win 3 games within the first week of the season.
No,
that's all they've been doing the last few years, though. It's just competing, constantly competing. Even with Murray, that's all they're doing. It's just competing.
Yeah, but
I could say one of my, I think, biggest surprises, like individual wise, De'Aaron Fox is playing pretty solid.
I don't want to hear that, bro. They're 0-3.
The issue with
they're 0-3, but I think he's playing like he's doing what he can do.
He's he's playing out his mind. Sabonis has been severely underperforming for his standards. But I think De'Aaron's problem has always been that his big games don't always translate to wins. And yes, he plays in Sacramento, and that's probably a big part of why. That's been our fantasy basketball league name, the Sacramento Queens.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's been the criticism.
Go ahead.
The biggest surprise we should be talking about is Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt, you gotta think about it. Before he got hurt, he just put up 228 point games with 5 assists or more, and then 5 or more rebounds. Like
22, 6 and 6 on the season so far.
And that's just because he got hurt. Because he got hurt
early
in 11 minutes. So like, but even then, he had 10 points in 11 minutes. Like he's scoring damn near a point per minute for them. And it's just his impact on the floor for that team. And I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I might be a little spicy for it. I think he can enter the MVP race if he keeps the Pelicans where they are.
Yeah, it's early, but I agree.
He has enough talent to surround him to put him in the winning conversation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if he continues to play like he was giving KD a bucket game,
he was.
And if that all stays consistent for him throughout these next 70-some games, yeah, I can see him in the MVP talk, and he should be able to get it. And it's not going to be a damn thing anybody can say about it, just because it's with his impact on the floor for that team right now.
So who else you got? You got any surprises between?
I'm gonna go with Charlotte. 2-1 off the bat.
No LaMelo yet?
Yeah,
and I guess
LaMelo
and
no Bridges. And like their schedule, they've beaten the Spurs and the Hawks, and they've lost to the Pelicans. I'd call the Hawks a good win for them, especially considering their current situation.
The Hawks played okay,
and I'd also say, given context, I think the Spurs win is looking pretty good as well.
As the Spurs only lost. Right?
Yeah, and it was what, game 1 for the Spurs?
Correct.
So, but the Spurs just beat the Sixers. So
yeah,
but I think the Hornets are looking really good. They actually look like they have a system, whereas last year, my biggest criticism of that entire team was that the coaching looked inept, and they just kind of sent players out there to go play basketball, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
This year, he's got less talent and less ability on the floor, and the team's performing.
I was going to say Dennis Smith.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But also, you got
17 in those 4 games.
You said Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward back.
Terry was falling before the injury too.
Gordon Hayward had a big last game to help them.
And a lot of people too. The thing was, because they brought Steve Clifford back. They brought him back for his second term with the team, or his second time with the team. So everybody was criticizing that. But again, it was important for them to get out to a hot start with LaMelo out. Like if they went 0-3, then obviously everybody would be trashing it. And obviously there's rumors now that they want to trade Scary Terry to the Lakers and all the other stuff. But if they can keep this up while LaMelo comes back and being able to actually use a full 9 to 10 guys, I don't see why they wouldn't be in the play-in again, or maybe snag an A seed if they start out hot. I wouldn't even see why not.
Yeah.
So one of my other surprises, though, I mean, I know it's early, is the Knicks, though.
Danny. I'm just saying, brother. I'm
starting
with you,
out
bro.
2-1, even though I mean
They beat the Magic and the Pistons.
I know, and they lost to the
But for
Grizzlies
me,
by
okay,
3.
all right,
I know, but I'm
okay,
just saying.
okay. Here's my other thing. I'm getting a little spicy this first couple. I think Jalen Brunson's impact on that team is just parallel.
You can feel the impact because the numbers aren't there right now.
Yeah.
But yet you do feel.
But like, I need Tibbs to understand something. Play Cam Reddish. Get a boy some minutes, okay?
Yeah, give the boy some minutes or put him in a Bulls jersey.
Exactly, because when you gave him time, he's made an impact. When you don't give him time and you do this like inconsistent crap, taking him in 2 minutes here, take him out 2 minutes there, take him out.
He needs longer stints.
And that's with his confidence. Yeah,
but that's always been the thing with a Tom Thibodeau led team, bro. Like that's always been the thing. We already know that from being Bulls fans of how he was. Like you would literally have somebody who would start out coming off your bench, would give you a solid 15 to 20, and then you would not see them for however long.
Yeah,
that's just typical of what a Thibodeau led team does.
Yeah, he's a very short rotation, heavy minutes guy. I think Hartenstein played like 40 in his first game.
Yeah, Hartenstein played 40 minutes, and then Mitchell Robinson, who you just gave a new contract to, plays 15 minutes.
Well, he was in foul trouble.
I know that, but still,
hot brother. I ride with Hartenstein for that game.
They got RJ averaging 34 a game, which is low for a Tibbs team. Because all OT games haven't.
Don't worry though. Don't worry. The minutes will get up there though. Minutes will get up there at some point.
More so than the Knicks overall, it's Randall. He's averaging.
Yes.
He's shooting 51% so far. Which again, small sample size. Not the hardest opponents. But he is a key. He's the big key to them. And if he, I believe he is the key for them. Because I think the Knicks were never not going to be a solid team that was competing for a playoff spot, right? Like that's the reality of it. But what kind of team really depends on how Randall can perform. Are they going to be at like top? Are they when they got 4th seed 2 years ago? I don't think they pushed 4th seed, but like, are they going to be like a 5-6 seed? Or are they going to be fighting for a play-in spot, right? Like that's Randall's performance. 100% the important part,
especially in the East, where it's dominated by bigs.
But I mean, speaking of that, one of these bigs is his team is off to a cold start in Philly.
Who you talking about? Oh, Joel. He has only
had one James Harden back.
Yes, James sir. Hey, my MVP.
Balling right now.
Yeah, but he's my MVP right now.
Look, I'm glad he's in shape. I'm glad he's back. But at
what the hell you got to say about this?
I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's actually putting up buckets like he's supposed to. But they're not going to win.
Just buckets? They're just buckets?
Everything.
But are you watching how he's putting up the buckets, though?
Thank you.
Yes, he's being able to. He's actually being able to size up a man.
8 and 10
on 48.6%.
He's being able to size up. He's actually able to get to the rim. He's drawing a little bit of fouls, which is very important for him in this game.
That's cool. That's cool. It's to talk about when he does it, like his flow of the game. Like he comes out.
That's exactly. I was about to say.
Gets his team involved.
Yep, he's back to playing James Harden basketball.
He's doing his job. He's doing his job.
He's scoring like this because Joel Embiid is underperforming.
The problem is they're not playing defense right now.
Exactly.
Which is crazy because that's exactly what we thought would be the big key to this team with PJ Tucker coming in,
Joel, Tobias.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that until Joel actually plays up to the standards that everybody and what we believe, this team is not. I don't care how well James Harden does. This team is not going to win.
That's the team.
No, that's Embiid.
Yeah, Embiid's looking
21% from 3 so far.
Yeah, and who knows? Well, they did say he had plantar fasciitis coming into the summer, and then now, but it's like now all of a sudden, like again, we talked about it last week. All of a sudden, now you hear about these.
Yeah, but we heard his ass been playing through broken wrists and torn meniscus. So MCLs.
But he'll get it rolling though. But again, I just don't think they can win that way though with James Harden being the focal point.
Oh my God!
Bro, they do. It's true.
Come on,
it's true.
They may not. It may not be a ring.
Danny, he's not the focal point,
but
the motherfucker averaging 10 assists.
I'm talking about, but I'm saying though, throughout the whole entire season, if they're gonna win the chip and actually make a
If he
serious run,
averages
they're
10
gonna get
assists
carried
through a
by
whole
Joe.
season,
Joel Embiid needs to carry them. James Harden can't carry this team.
so James Harden at
No
5
one needs to
assists with
carry
Joel
this team.
carrying.
They have
They're not
Nobody,
going-
right?
They have
Nobody.
I'm just saying.
I'm with
two
D on that.
top five.
They need to play
10
defense.
players.
That's
They
it.
do,
is
but
all
I'm
they-
just saying.
They need to play defense, and they need players. to be
Maxi's already averaging around 20.
He's averaging 17, but it's been very inconsistent. He's had
Yeah.
a good game, a great game, and two like not great games.
And that's because
Which was expected.
and that's because he only comes out aggressive certain games and come out not aggressive the next game.
Yeah.
That's his fault.
I think Tobias and Joel need to step up a little. That's about it.
Tobias doing the same Tobias things. You're gonna need James Harden to do what he's doing now to help them
agree.
get to the next
Yeah.
level.
If James Harden's
That
playing
was
like
the
this in
issue
the
in the
playoffs,
playoffs.
they make the finals.
Right. You need
You pair
both
that
of
with
them.
Oh,
Joel.
okay. So Joel being the
Joel not
okay.
shooting 20% from three, and Joel not missing easy wide open shots and shooting 3 for 18.
Okay.
Come on, dude. You can't
If
tell
I
me
see
Harden.
saying,
You
though.
can't tell me they
Joel-
don't need Harden to play like this.
No.
He's
They
looking like
do.
Luka.
They do, but I'm saying they're not gonna win. They're not gonna make a deep playoff run with him playing like this. It's not gonna happen.
I don't get you.
Yeah, that makes
They're
no
gonna
sense.
get
I'll
knocked
get
out.
you.
They're gonna get knocked out second
The
round.
one
again.
thing they've been missing the last 2 years is James Harden playing like this, and now they can't win with him playing
they're
like
still
this.
they're still not gonna win. They're still not gonna win.
It just sounds like hating.
Yeah, bro, you
Yeah,
crazy.
that's- you sound
I gotta move
wild
on
as
to
shit.
this.
I'll
I'm
hate
gonna move
until
on
I'm
to the
proven
next
wrong with
point.
him.
That I wanted to kind of list off some of the 30, actually the top 10 scores in the NBA right now are all averaging 30. Starting at 10, De'Aaron Fox
There you go.
Okay, well,
goes up to Kevin Durant, then D Book,
yes, sir.
Jason Tatum, stifled by the Bulls.
Well,
Not really. He
talking
wasn't,
about.
He
but
came
yeah.
out
the rest of the team was.
boring.
Giannis, but he's only played 2 games. D Lil, Dame Time. He's
Mhm.
played 4, still averaging 33. Steph, same, 33. D Mitch, I think, has been. I could throw him into the surprise.
68 minutes a game. Oh Lord.
Well, that's just
Yeah.
Garland's been out.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
last 2, I
Garland's
believe,
out.
for
Yep.
a game and a half or so.
So he's playing like both, or 1 and a 2 for them.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, Dame's
Luca's got 33. He's also only played 2 games, and then Ja has played 4, but he's averaging 35. He's been pretty fucking insane.
Crazy. 60% from
Out of
three.
these 10 players, who are you guys taking right now?
You already know who I'm taking.
Yeah, you know who I'm taking.
Devin
You're taking Booker.
Booker.
You're taking Luca.
Yes, sir.
Danny.
For the scoring title, we talking about?
No, just like right now.
Or
like
who would you say?
At the pace that people are playing at right now. Like at this current, like after a week, just who are you liking the most out of these guys right now?
Hey, I see it on your
I'm
tongue, Dan. I see it on your tongue.
I'm still liking Steph. I'm still liking
Oh,
Steph
fuck
over anybody.
I'm
You-
picking
you
Steph
just had
too.
to be
I'm liking
basic.
Steph too. He hasn't been as efficient
Hopefully
as
you're
as I
basic.
would like.
No.
He is
You're
shooting 44
you're
from
basic.
3.
I mean, that's 3
But he's-
games.
yeah.
And it's on
I
12
was
attempts a game.
gonna take Ja actually. Ironically, I think who's
he's unreal
Desmond
right
Bain
now.
also had a banger their last game against the Nets.
38, 41, something crazy.
Yep.
They both had 38, I think, or 39.
Desmond
But I
Bain.
think
Yeah.
Ja's looking like he's about to carry this fucking team.
I
to
mean, that's
probably a 1
literally
or a 2 seed this
when
year.
you look at their roster though, because
He's
Dylan Brooks
shooting a little
Dylan Brooks
better.
didn't. Yeah.
60% from 3
from
right now.
3.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, it's early. Those numbers will all regress to
I have to-
hopefully a better mean, right? See him around closer to 40
Yeah.
than 30.
But I believe though I don't know. It's like you said. I believe Ja's going to carry them. Probably 2 or 3 seed. I believe that's where they're going to be. They're going to be a hot regular
That's
season
pretty
team. It all
hot.
comes down to the playoffs. I don't know though. I just still don't trust them to make a deep run either.
I think
really don't.
Well, for the regular season, they are built for the regular season right now.
Correct.
That's
And
why I
we'll
can see them.
how
hop
some
into
of these
2 or a 3
guys step
seed.
up, how Triple J comes back and integrates with this team. Santi Aldama's doing a great job in
Yes.
Very,
that
very
spot.
well.
Yeah.
He's not Triple J, but
No, Triple J is one
having a
of the
void
elite
that large
defensive-
is pretty
yeah.
solid.
But
What
yeah,
he's been doing.
speaking of pretty high, what's up with your boy Book getting 40 minutes a game? You're gonna run him into the ground?
Hey, at this rate, we're gonna have to, baby, because Chris Paul on his last legs,
Bro,
man.
He is
trash. I mean, he was trash
Like,
last
I'm
year.
not gonna lie to you.
He was great for me.
I
He's
really
been
think-
trash.
I really believe Jose Alvarado literally took all the juice out of him in the first round. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
He's averaging more assists
Over
than
his
points.
face. No, but it's not. See, it's not the points he's averaging. He's shooting. Look, it's
Dude,
bad.
he can't drop a bucket.
He's at 32% shooting on the season and 9% from
That boy
three.
can't buy a bucket.
He is 9.1%.
He's doing his normal facilitating job. He can't score for shit no more, and he can't be on the floor to play any defense. And right now, we don't have the Suns don't have a bench that's deep enough to be
Honestly,
trying to
drop Chris Paul. Have Booker. But like I said, when Paul went out midway through last season for a couple of weeks, D Book showed that he could facilitate and score at the same
Dan,
time.
you hear that? You hear that? Okay. Just want to make sure you heard that, Dan.
I mean, apparently Danny thinks James Harden is trash, but
he is.
Okay.
He is
the 3-point shooting on the Suns also just seems like it's a little bit
starting
off slow.
There's nobody there. You got to think about it. The only shooters are in your starting lineup. To be honest, you don't have a lot coming off the bench that shoots. Like
and Landry's still hurt as well. So
so Landry Shaman's still hurt. Jay Crowder, we got to move him, and we still ain't moved that. Now I'm trying to see what they're trying
Landry
to put
Shaman trash.
He is,
but
trash.
he's a better 3-point shooter. That's somebody you could facilitate to. I would take that. But
when you look at Crowder back.
He shot 2 of 5 from 3 in 13 minutes on Sunday. So
like right now, Devin Booker's technically the reason the Suns are at 5th in the West is because of Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I was about to say period.
Simple as that.
There. Yeah.
I'm sorry though. DeAndre Ayton still doesn't even look good to me.
Oh my God. Who looks good to you? Does anyone look good to you outside of Steph?
DeMar DeRozan. That's
bullshit. I wish he was off the Bulls.
I mean, we've been saying this for years.
When we signed his ass and I saw how game 1 went, I was like, can we get him off the Bulls?
What you think, Dan? You think the Bulls look good
Fuck
this
out
year?
of here.
We look
yeah, it's weird. I think
back to healthy, get rid of DeMar.
I think the last game against the Boston Celtics was a good sign because I believe that again when we were down,
the correlation between our wins and our losses is IO.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which seems
has nothing to do with DeMar. Has nothing to do
no.
It's the same issue we've had. Our roster is top heavy, and we need contributions from other guys if we want to win.
Honestly, the only staple.
We need Pat to step up. We need
Pat sucks.
We need Dragic to be better.
Yeah, Pat is
what he is.
Dragic's doing what he's supposed
to. We need him to be better offensively. Be more of an impact offensively. Because he can come off the bench and be 12 to 15 points a game.
37?
Yeah, you're not going to get that out of a 37.
He averages like 18 for Slovenia.
Yeah, that's Euro ball.
Slovenia. It's Euro ball.
Yeah, Euro ball is easier. Yeah,
so you put to his like 8 or 9.
Harder, but
that's how he got 8 or 9 right now.
Yeah, so
because it's it.
Pat's got to see the bench so he can play with the second unit and get shots up because he can't play with these starters.
I don't look like he can hold anybody either, bro.
Look, brother, it's the same thing for these Bulls. They can't shoot worth the damn dime.
We're the second worst shooting team in the league.
You shooting 32.7 from 3 this year. Like, what are we going? You still don't got a bench. It's not gonna work. We are in the same spot as last year.
Yep.
Middle of the
fucking team.
Fighting our ass off just to get the same spot, bro.
When Lonzo's healthy, you gain a shooter, you gain a facilitator, you gain a defender. But Lonzo's not there for. Get fucking check. Hey, let me tell you, if the Knicks want DeMar, they can take him. Give me Cam Reddish, give me Mitchell Robinson. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Shout out to future MVP. Luka has 33, 11, and 6 through 3 quarters. But not for real. DeMar to the Knicks, Cam Reddish, Mitchell Robinson.
No, I'd want some sort of star in return, but not. It doesn't need to be somebody who's ball dominant.
Jalen Brunson.
I'll take Jalen Brunson too, especially if Lonzo's not playing. Give me them 3. I'm telling you.
I need the Nuggets to falter.
I can't watch DeMar Hero bar another 82 games.
I mean, that's what's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, that's why we lost. Which game?
My thing is this. See, this is why I say they didn't construct the roster right. See, when Pop had DeMar in San Antonio, y'all know DeMar was running a point for them.
Yeah,
to help
facilitating.
So he was able to
clip of his career.
So he was able to facilitate for that team. But when you with a team right now, like the Chicago Bulls and how it's made up, there's no offense besides you and Zach LaVine. And the inconsistencies of a Nikola Vucevic, Io when he wants to be aggressive on nights and his shot falling. Alex Caruso, he's a great role player. That's all I can really say about him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Starter as long as Lonzo's out.
You feel me? And then he's the bench though. He's not a starter. He's the bench for us. That's the depth.
But he plays
like
36, 35, 30 or so.
But that's where his impact comes in. But he's not a great 3-point shooter either. So he's just on the floor for defense. So then if you put, it's nothing on that. We got Andre Drummond shooting threes. Sit his big ass in the paint. Like, what are we doing?
That's okay, but yeah, I don't know why
he's been good for us. But my biggest thing, I saw a post. I think I saw it was a tweet about it.
Well, at this point, just go get Carmelo.
The biggest issue with the Bulls is that it seems like every move was made without the next move in mind, right? Yeah. So when they drafted Pat as their first move, they were like, "Oh, this team is going to be working towards something."
I thought that was a good move.
Just wait. Then they signed Demar, or they trade for Vooch, which accelerates. Right? Was that the order? Or was it Vooch?
Vooch was halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Pat was. This is year 3 technically.
Yeah,
Pat, but he missed all of last year with the wrist. So yes, that is correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So we drafted Pat. Then we trade for Vooch at the deadline, which accelerates our progress ahead of Pat's
timeline.
It accelerates our timeline. And then because of that Vooch move, we were able to get DeMar DeRozan, which further accelerated our timeline. Pat was drafted as a project pick for a team planning to rebuild. It like do the true rebuild. Things ended up working out differently because we were pretty solid, and we were like, we can make this trade to become a play-in team and make that next step, right? And so I think what the reality of it is, it's just like all these moves were made kind of like, oh, this is available, Vooch is available, let's get on that.
Yes.
When you drafted a guy who you needed to build, needed to be a part of rebuild,
going one direction. Yeah. Found out they were a little better than they were expecting, and then went totally other direction.
Yeah, and so now we're at this position where this guy they drafted to develop over a long period of time.
I feel like that's what we have. A lot of guys that could develop over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Right, but then the problem is that
we have guys like DeMar
that's the middle and the bottom half of the roster, but the top half of the roster is ready to compete now.
Yeah, like it doesn't work like that. And I'm sorry. I'm on the train.
Ayo, Dalen Terry, Pat Will, even Kobe has been forced to be in his role. Like those are 4 solid guys. Simonovic, even some of the other guys.
We've seen Pat when he gets the opportunities in the meaningless games, which is what we would have been playing for a whole year or two had we not made those, made that Vooch trade and signed DeMar.
But now he has superstars around him.
Yeah, and it's like you see him
timid,
he's scared to shoot because he knows the expectations of the team are higher than
take an X-ray of his lungs. He ain't got that dog in him.
Shout out who? Shout him out, bro. Shout him out.
Bro. Is that Pater? Pate sent that, right?
Pater. Well, if we're looking though at the 2020 draft, so Anthony Edwards went number 1, James Wiseman went 2, LaMelo went 3. So Pat Will obviously went number 4. So the players picked after him. I'm gonna go the next couple of picks. You let me know who would you rather have.
Go to 9 because this guy was very high on the guy who was picked 9.
Benny average.
Isaac
Okoro, yes or no?
Solid role player. I think he's really good for what we have now.
Correct.
But he wouldn't have helped us at that point either.
That's
so
still higher.
So that's got a higher.
I would say in hindsight, yes, Okoro as that defensive wing would have been
great
cracked on this team right now because that we.
The next one is the center from USC, Onyeka Ngangwu. I said that correctly.
He's solid, but he's also a project.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's too far ahead of
post Clint thing. I think.
I think we can all agree on this one. Killian Hayes hasn't been anything for the Pistons.
That's who I was really high on in that draft, and he is busted hard.
Yeah,
he's a really good defensive player and playmaker, but his offensive game is not there, and his help isn't there.
No. Next one, Obi Toppin. I would still have Pat Will over Obi.
Obi's shown a lot of growth over the last season.
But his coaches.
I'll still take Pat's ceiling.
Yeah, it's when you talk about a 23-year-old,
I'm taking Obi.
Rookie. I like Obi's game now, but I think 5 years down the road we'll be looking at a similar Obi. And Pat's
I'm taking Obi. I'm taking Obi, and I think he would have moved into like a bigger role than what he is now. Just because of his motor.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's got more. He's got size too.
The size, more
That's
explosive.
bigger than him.
He looks for a shot more.
Longer than him.
Longer, yes, but not
Looks
bigger.
for a shot more. Is more aggressive. You need something like that. I need
Yeah.
that. When you open, take it. I don't got
Yeah.
time for you pass.
Even if you don't know, even if
Yeah, he's definitely got the better mindset, but I don't
Yeah.
think he's skilled as much as Pat can be.
somebody needs to he needs to get like knocked in the
can't
head and
shoot.
just
Next
pussy.
pick,
He's a pussy.
is
Let's just say it
obviously
as it is.
the Wizards pick, Denny. I don't even know.
average.
Denny
Average.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Dan,
sad.
okay.
He
The
looked
only-
actually. Didn't they beat us? And he played
yes,
pretty
they
solid.
did.
He played pretty
Yeah.
solid as like their man off the bench and kind of. They
Correct.
kept saying his name all. freaking-
Avdia, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
then the only other pick that I'm looking that's later than the ninth pick, the only one worthy of that to me is Tyrese Halliburton. Sadiq
Grab
Bey.
Hallie. Ooh, Sadiq Bey would fit
Sadiq
really.
Bey is
See,
crap.
Hallie would have been
Tyrese.
good because then we wouldn't have had to get Lonzo.
Yes, which
But Sadiq Bey would fit really good with what we have now.
Correct.
dude,
This
This
Hallie
is a
playing
3 and D
next-
wing, a
3 and D
true
wing,
3 and D
correct.
wing.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah.
And a goddamn efficient shooter.
Yes.
Assistant shooter. But
Yeah.
Hallie also would have been crazy because then he'd be running the offense. You
It's-
probably don't
yeah.
get DeMar because I mean they might try for it, but then you also probably don't get Lonzo because you don't
You
need the
probably
playmaker.
don't make that Vooch
Yeah.
trade because you
He
probably haven't
plays
been
really
active.
well off of Zach as a scorer. I mean, Zach kind
Yeah.
of plays well off of everybody. 'cause
He's that piece.
he's able to do everything.
And like that's what we talk about team structure. And like if the Bulls really truly want to contend, it's gonna be hard to have your two best players be offensive minded
Fucking Hallie.
wings,
God
one of
damn
which
it.
is cannot both of
crazy.
which aren't good defenders, and one of which it doesn't really have much of an outside game.
Correct.
And I say that true outside, not his mid-range
Yeah.
game is obviously on another level, but it's good. That structure makes it hard. You'd want to pair Zach with a dominant big and a point or a point, right? I don't think that duo of DeMar and Zach is a true winning
No.
structure.
It's not
I
a
just
winning
think-
formula.
I just think because what DeMar
You
does
brought
takes away
two-
from what Zach's full potential.
Yes.
You got two guys who want
Whereas
to
when
carry
you
the offense.
complement with a big, they like it's
Yeah.
like 1+1 rather than one equaling one, which I feel like is what you get with DeMar and Zach.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But I that's what I was thinking, bro. I think there's
I
only
was
a
gonna
couple
say
that
too,
you would
as
pick,
my
but
last point, I think kind of working off of what the Patrick Williams thing and kind of stunting his development. I think we've done that with Kobe as well.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
think we've done that with Wendell Carter as well. When you
Wendell's
place
taking off
these
right
young
now.
guys into these young guys who have a lot of potential but aren't NBA ready yet, which is what
Mhm.
we were kind of in the draft picks we were getting. And it just stunts their growth. And you see when a
Yep.
couple of our guys that we've drafted have gone on to other teams, even Lowry came in when we were bad, and then
He's
we
still
started to
doable.
get a little better. And then, I mean, he's playing solid with the Jazz through a week or so.
The thing is too, what I feel like
a
is
good-
that certain teams, like I would say the Bulls didn't actually go through a fine and consistent rebuild. I mean,
No,
y'all
and
can
that
look-
was Vitor's point.
It's because,
Yeah,
and even
because-
Zach took such a leap after his first year here where
With
he missed
us, right.
where he missed a few games.
And I think that caused a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like obviously when you play in a market this big too, the expectations kind of come quickly.
Mhm.
Like people, the fan base is very, very fickle. It goes, you win a couple games and they're like, I love this team, best players in the world. You lose two in a row, it's trade
Trade
she's
Kobe,
trash. Get rid of
Vooch
Zach,
is
let's
trash.
rebuild. Like it's one of the most
Zach's
fickle
not
fan
worth the
bases.
money.
Yeah.
because
And
if
it's
you look at it
somehow everyone
too,
keeps sucking off Demar.
Because it's
Win or
because-
lose.
It's because it's people. There are too many people who are
Does anyone
fans.
actually watch these fucking games?
There's
and
too
see the
many
ball
people who
not
are
move
fans of
around
the
the court.
team and not a fan of the game. So they see this. Oh, this guy scored 30 for us when we
The
won.
game's on the line. ISO ball.
It's
Yep.
like
Game's on the line. ISO ball.
Yeah, and then we see it in the playoffs. Game's on the line.
ISO ball.
He's 4 of 32, and he's got the ball for 24
Down
seconds.
by 20. ISO ball. Up by 20. ISO
the thing
ball.
is too, I think what's really gonna hurt the Bulls is the fact that Wendell Carter is turning into a serviceable big man is what we were looking for when he first came in, but also that Franz Wagner pick as well is what we gave away. So
Yes, bro,
imagine
he's a
that
dog.
we possibly could have had a starting lineup of
Playmaking at
Tyrese.
his size.
We could have had Tyrese Halliburton. We could have had Zach LaVine as a starting two. Then we probably could have had Franz. Then we could have had
As a
probably
3, which isn't really
we-
his
oh,
game, but
no, but a fill-in 4 and then Wendell still, which would have been a nice young core and still building up,
Well, you
actually
throw
doing
Pat
a
in
proper
there, too.
rebuild.
No.
Well, no, I'm saying if we didn't pick Pat, if we picked
Oh,
Tyrese
okay.
over Pat.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah,
you're
yeah.
still
Yeah.
not going nowhere with that team, bro.
No,
Not
but
now.
I'm saying though of a
The
like
future
actual
is way
consistent-
brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have said the future is way brighter. It would have been a more consistent rebuild.
No, because when you got teams like Oklahoma City, you got Boston who develops talent well, Miami who still develops talent well. Shit, Cleveland ain't that young, bro. I mean, not that
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
take Kevin K-Love off that
so
team,
what
that age
future
goes
you
way
talking about?
But I'm saying though that in that way though, look at what Cleveland did to get Donovan Mitchell. They didn't give away their young core for a star. He ain't a superstar, but for a star.
I just
That's
think
point.
we drafting the wrong guys, in my opinion.
I don't think in our spots there were too many other guys we really because we have to be realistic too. When guys get drafted in like 28th, and you're mad that you didn't pick them at 4 because they played.
Oh yeah.
Nobody was picking them at 4.
No,
right.
No.
And that's the reality of it. Like we have to. Hallie was never going to go.
Right, but look at who's picking those players.
Yeah, I mean
any top-notch franchises that have developed talent for years. To Isaac's point, at least.
Yeah.
So.
But that's all about knowing where you're going to draft and being.
We're going to end up
prepared for that.
Yeah,
when you know certain options are going to be gone, your scouting goes a little deeper, right?
And that's why okay. Now you hit my point because like even when we was talking about like with the draft, the this past draft, I don't think the Bulls were drafted for need. It was like an experiment. Like it was an experiment for what you needed instead of something you actually needed.
There was better fits on the board than fucking David.
Better fits on
Not that he's a bad player.
It's nothing like I'm not saying they're bad guys or like they're terrible players, but like when you look at what was on the board, you had guys who could fill the role, probably already developing that role, and then probably take another step from just growing in that role already. There's somebody who's trying to change their role, grow in that role, adapt again, just to be something that probably might not be.
Yeah, like I see the logic in the Terry pick because he does a lot of things that Lonzo does, and if you can't have Lonzo healthy, he can do some of those things, but he's not ready. He doesn't have the offense.
Yeah.
Nope.
He has the talent in terms of certain parts of the game, but I think overall, he's a tenacious defender. He's competitive, and I think that's one thing that like I think we're missing out there. And I like obviously Javonte is the interesting thing because his energy is always so big.
I think he's been probably our most consistent player.
Correct.
Maybe not.
He has a great emergence
going.
Yeah,
but he always hustles at least. Jesus Christ.
And it's only week 1 and we're already talking like this.
Bro, because I feel like I just watched 4 games and it was the same shit I watched 82 games last year.
Yeah.
The
only good thing is we already have a better record.
We talk about Miami getting worse or staying stagnant. Talk about other teams staying stagnant.
Miami
Utah got significantly worse and they out here playing like some dogs.
But that's again, it's week 1. Danny's right. They could be 3-1 and in 2 weeks we could be talking about them being 4-7, 4-8.
What are we gonna be?
Right. I figure we'll be sitting somewhere around 500.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, just like we did. But
that sounds like 8-10 to me.
Well, we'll keep getting into it, y'all. We'll keep getting into the Bulls specifically.
I'm staying realistic. You know how I am. I'm staying realistic until I'm proven otherwise.
The reality of it is we know what we were expecting.
I was proven right 2 years ago. I was proven right with the Pat pick. I was proven right with last season.
Hey, just if the Sixers keep sliding like
sitting here with a fucking Bears jersey on
and
a White Sox hat, talking about the Bulls.
Hey, the Sixers keep sliding like this. We'll throw DeMar and Bush at him and see if they
this is like praying for McCaffrey to go to the 49ers. Stop this right now.
You got one
slide
in your life.
Let's get into that though. So we're gonna get into our NFL now. So we're gonna go through a quick recap here. Obviously, there were a lot of injuries that we'll also get into. So a couple notable games here. We'll just go through them. So Bears beat the Patriots.
Let's fucking go, bro.
Hey.
No, they didn't just beat the Patriots. They
beat them
mopped
down,
them, bro.
So we'll talk about it.
Zippy Zappy can suck my nuts. Mac Jones can suck my nuts. Roll Tide. They can all suck my nuts.
Dolphins.
Fantasy Goon. Fuck them.
Dolphins beat the Steelers.
Love that.
Chiefs mopped the floor with the 49ers.
Hey. It was close for a bit.
And yeah,
we were winning 10-0 at one point.
Even when it was 24-20,
I'll take that moral victory.
It looked competitive, and then they just scored and scored. But I mean,
that's what the Chiefs do.
We lost it. We lost it on with like 54 seconds left.
They made the best defense in football look like shit. Yeah. And y'all had all those off players come back.
Yeah. The next one here, surprise team, Seahawks beating the Chargers, leading that West Division there. Raiders beating the Texans. Jets beat the Broncos.
Josh Jacobs, bro, absolute animal. Roll Tide.
Jets beat the Broncos. I don't think that was a surprise there.
Oh, right.
Also, a funny fact for y'all. There was a tweet that was sent out. Russell Wilson has 7 more bathrooms in his house, 12 in total, than he has touchdown passes through 6 games, which he has 5 touchdowns
in total.
Yeah.
So,
Really be
thought that
shitting.
was pretty funny. Next one here is Commanders beat the Packers.
Crazy. Brian Robinson, roll tide.
Yep. Ravens beat the Browns. Cowboys beat the
That was
Lions.
annoying actually, because I feel like they didn't deserve it.
No. Giants over the Jaguars. We are going to talk about a little bit the Giants.
Yeah,
We're
Giants
also going to be
and the
talking about the
Jets,
Jets. Yep. Panthers over the Bucks.
Love that.
Titans over the Colts. I believe we're definitely gonna. I want to get into
defense is
this one.
sleeping. I think
called
people
that
are
one.
sleeping. Okay, so
Yeah.
they got shat on by Buffalo, which makes sense. But other than that, that Titans defense has been keeping them in games.
Well, they got KC in week 9, so
Yeah,
I just want to make note.
it's not week 8.
I just want to make note. In my top 10 quarterbacks, I put Tom Brady damn near off my list, and I was right.
I think I had him 4th.
Yeah,
I mean, he played like it last year, so
Correct. You
Ladies
did.
and
I think
gentlemen.
you slotted him at 10.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think I
the
had him 3rd or 4th.
the last couple of games is going to be Bengals over the Falcons, and then Cardinals
on
over
them.
the Saints.
That was also annoying.
So let's get. I really want to talk about this one though, because I find it really, really surprising for the Colts,
ahead.
especially. They're benching Matt Ryan for Sam.
Yeah, I didn't
Ehlinger.
get that. I mean, I get it, but I don't.
I mean, they said he had a shoulder injury, but
That's not. Yeah, but
But
no. But
th- but they're
then
not-
they went and said that
Yeah.
they're not benching him because of the injury.
So
And then they
are-
said for the rest of the season. So even if Buddy shits the bed,
correct.
He's
And
still
then
gonna start.
and then Sam Ellinger jumped Nick Foles in the depth chart as well.
right?
And then Frank
who you
Frank Reich-
signed to be the backup?
And then Frank Reich comes out and says that he's looked at all of this film of Matt Ryan. He apologized to Matt Ryan because they don't have any good offensive line play right now. Their defense is shitting the bed. Their running game is not doing anything whatsoever.
It hasn't been consistent though. I will give them that.
But we've looked at Indianapolis as them not having the quarterback to compete. But we've looked at that position only. Do you guys believe that over this course of the season that Frank Wright is probably going to be out the door after this season? If obviously you make the change.
Could be if they
You-
don't make the
I mean,
playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah.
at this
No.
point, it seems like
He's
they're
not
not
out
worried about making the playoffs. They're worried about keeping Matt Ryan alive. Like it feels like they're good. The move makes it feel like he has one more year, right? Because it makes it seem like, okay, we're gonna finish out this season. We're gonna retool. We'll come back with you next season, Matt, and we'll get this shit sorted out, and then we'll run it back.
Because
That's
they
what
are
it sounds
paying
like.
him. They are paying him the $24 million this year, and then he has $12 million guaranteed next year for them as well. So
I was
it's a
gonna
low
say,
set,
Matt
it's a
Ryan.
low base, but still,
Like they're not even out of the playoff.
I mean, you're saying that, but like they're gonna go play the Chiefs. They're gonna go play the Bills. Like they're not gonna win those games.
Yeah, but their whole division has to play them.
Yeah, but
The
I'm
whole
saying
division's
I'm talking
ass.
about in the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, so what?
yeah.
It's a moral
Mhm.
victory.
Yeah, but it's so what
Get-
to next year too.
Get a higher draft pick.
The Chiefs and the Bills ain't fucking going anywhere
Yes,
for
but
half
if
a
you can
decade.
bring in cheaper
For a
talent,
fucking decade. Where are Pat
But-
and Josh Allen going to go in the next decade?
they're
but-
not. But
Where are
they're
they gonna
trying.
go?
You're being an idiot. They're trying to be better for next year. He literally
Bro,
just said
You just said
he
they're
just
going
said
to
the
come
quote.
across the same two
He
teams for the next decade.
yes. But
How are they going to
Dan-
ever beat
the
those two
quote
teams?
Danny just said is the offensive line play hasn't been good. The running game hasn't been good. You don't have weapons. They're
Okay,
gonna
improve that for next year. Do they
yes.
beat the Bills?
Probably not,
Do
but
they
it
beat
gives
the
them a better
Chiefs?
shot. And that's
What
they're
about in
going
2
for.
years? In
They're
3
just-
years?
They're-
In 4 years?
They can't just go, oh, you know what? These guys have the best quarterbacks in the league.
What if they get Bryce Young, buddy? Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
They still going to get fucking mopped.
Yeah.
They're the two best teams in football.
The
along with
offensive
Eagles.
line play
Come on,
comment
bro.
is the
Don't
wildest
give me that.
thing.
Because they
to me.
were cracked at the offensive
Yeah,
line.
they have
Yeah.
Quentin Nelson. Like that alone is better than most offensive lines.
But and the thing is too is
Not the
that
Chiefs.
how straightforward I think Frank Wright actually like surprised people
Come on,
with
bro,
what he
don't
was
give me
actually saying. But I'm just saying though, he was brutally honest. Like he's like, I looked at the film, can't make any of the throws. We're not protecting him. We got to go with something else. Like you really don't normally see that
Sounds like you're
in a
saying
coach's
we made a
explanation.
mistake.
Well, if you say you can't protect him, you're like, you're gonna take the guy at the lineup. You're like, yeah, we're gonna throw Sam in there because if he dies, he dies.
I just don't agree with your point. They're not gonna win nothing with Matt Ryan. They're not gonna win nothing with Matt Ryan next year.
But they can't
Matt
think like
At this point, I think what they're
football.
trying to do is they're trying to develop a quarterback and see if they can do that. If not, like Isaac said, go get one next year.
Yeah. But
as a football team, you have to.
They've been in shambles since Andrew Luck left.
Oh yeah,
that's unfortunate.
You put
that's
Andrew Luck made the playoffs. What, like 6 or 7 of his, or he played 7 years. I think he made 6 playoffs.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yep. It's just unfortunate though. So that's one thing I really wanted to talk about. But
when players retire like that,
I'll be honest, it don't matter if you're any other AFC team outside of the Bengals. And that was a miracle run. That shit felt like Daddy McPherson. Were they scoring 14 points a game and then he'd kick the 17th and win the game?
Yep. Yes, sir. Hey, they're on a hot streak right now though. But let's talk about the Giants and the Jets. So obviously just that Breece Hall injury.
I don't even think it's Breece Hall. I think the Elijah Vera Tucker injury is gonna really hurt them because their offensive line has already been chopped up and he was playing really well for them. And I think
we've been scoring on him.
Yeah, but what's going to happen when you're scoring at this point? I saw splits, and I think based on when he has time to throw, Zach Wilson's like the 5th best quarterback in the league. When he's under pressure, he's the 38th best.
You just got to put Joe Flacco in, and their offense goes up.
I mean, and Joe Flacco was slinging it.
Yeah,
their offense goes up 2 scores.
But are they willing to do that? Are they willing to go? Hey,
no, because they're trying
Zach,
to develop to try and
beat the
Bills in the next decade.
Are they willing to sit Zach down? Hey, Zach, we watched the film. We're not blocking for you. We're not making plays for you.
No.
Look. Robert Saleh better listen to Bill Belichick.
I love the Jets defense.
Going for the backup
really
train.
good. I think they hit a lot of draft picks.
Yes.
I think a lot of their rookies are playing well. The Bryce Young thing is trash. That's very sad. Bryce Young. Real tight, but Breece Hall, that's very sad. He was a breakout.
Yeah,
I was down on him to start the year.
Shout out to my other fantasy team, you know.
Oh, you had
a
him?
good run. Yeah, good run while we lasted.
Thanks. R.I.P. But I just think that again, a lot of these AFC teams need to really try to measure up to those 2 teams in the AFC. And like, if you're not there, just fucking tank or something. Like start rookies, get experience, like build for the future. Because the AFC's on lock for the next 3, 4 years, 5 years.
Speaking of tanking, the Texans have the 9th best point differential through the first 3 quarters.
Their defense is pretty
and
solid.
The worst in the 4th.
Is
this intentional?
What game? What game was that? Were they on like a Sunday night game or something? Or what game was I watching when I read that? I saw that pop up on. I was watching one of their games. I can't remember.
I mean, just against the Raiders, I think they gave up at least 14, if not 21, in the 4th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, are they doing this on purpose? Are they tanking, or is this just like inexperience and coaching?
So,
what do we think?
Wait. Whoa.
We're on Jets and Giants.
We're on Jets and Giants.
But this is
they suck.
It was segued perfectly.
Terrible. They're terrible.
They're the ninth best team through 3 quarters.
Which team though would you rather have would y'all rather have the New York Giants or the New York Jets? I'm taking the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants.
Now. I think I'm taking the Giants. I think they're more.
I'm taking Danny on a run.
I'm taking the Giants. I think they're better at quarterback. If Breece Hall is still playing, they're better at running back.
Yeah.
They aren't better at receiver, but their receivers are playing better.
Yes.
Correct.
I think that has to do with the quarterback which I was about to say next. I like Dable, who was my coach of the year candidate.
100%.
Not that I don't like Saleh, but I think that's more defense oriented.
And you see it a lot. I think when defensive coaches come in, a lot of times the defense on that team improves really fast and looks really good, but the offense a lot of times leaves a lot to be desired.
I think their 2 corners are playing out of this world right now. And I think the defensive unit as a whole is doing enough to not give up 40.
Mm-hmm. And the offense is doing just enough.
30,
and the offense is doing just enough.
Keeping pace with them. They're both they could both take a step and really get higher up. But I think they're also benefiting from the NFC East having the worst schedule in football.
Yeah.
Collectively, all 4 of them, having to play each other, but then they just have the softest schedule.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I'm
the
just like
Giants.
I just like all around more so of what I'm seeing from the Giants. The fact that you have an offense that can actually somewhat move and still get you points, whereas like the Jets, I feel are completely reliant and are being reliant
They
on
were
their
relying on Brees
defense.
Hall as well.
So that as well. Daniel Dimes is, I mean, he's playing
Don't
decent.
call him Danny.
bro.
Hey,
He's
call him
playing
Danny
decent.
Legs. He has.
Danny double legs.
Yeah,
But
my man has been running. He hasn't been throwing. He's been running.
But that's what
He makes the throws.
Yeah, he
though,
makes
when
some
he
throws.
needs
He just
to.
threw for like 214 and ran for like 100.
Yeah. But
See, I
he's
think
performing more of an all-around game is what I think people expected him to do.
I'll give you that.
But they expected him, the first coaching regime expected him to try and make him a passer, just a passer. He's not just that, but now that you're actually able to use the three, like we're seeing with Justin Fields again, we'll talk about that in a little bit, is literally throw for 180 and then run for about 60, 70, 80 yards on top of that. That's the winning formula for them, at least with that good defense to actually keep something moving.
I think it's crazy too. They haven't had what was their projected top 3 receivers going into the season with Kenny Galladay,
That's
Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney. They've probably logged like a total of 2 games combined. Galladay was healthy for the first like 3 or 4, but wasn't logging snaps. I mean, they're running out there with what big play Slay or no, that's a Darius Slayton.
They got Darius Slayton.
Yeah, Darius Slayton. I'm thinking of
Wandale Robinson the last 2 games.
I'm thinking of Darius Slayton. That's what I'm thinking
Slayton.
of. And then
Wandale
Robinson. And then really
what's the other guy's name?
Marcus Johnson,
Johnson.
like that. But like, come on, you're at that point you're already reaching.
Yeah. That's that guy who you call up from the practice squad and he drops the ball and you're like, who the you're watching the game, you're like,
can't even get mad at it.
And then you're like, they're like, oh, Marcus Johnson with the drop his first career snap. You're like,
that makes sense.
He's going back down to the practice squad.
That's one of those like, who the fuck is this guy? First game played. Oh, good for him. You go from like really pissed to really mad because you don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Like that's who their receivers are, and they're outplaying Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, like
Garrett Wilson
Tyler
under with Joe
and I think that though just comes back to the coaching staff, like you know, being able to put your handprints on everything. So
too much talent in receiving core for the Jets not to be able to move the ball.
So are we all taking the Giants?
I would say Giants. I'm with the Giants. I'm on that train.
Can we combine them and give me the Giants offense with the Jets defense? That'd be pretty cool.
That's a Super Bowl win.
Oh, come on. If you put them in the NFC, maybe.
Yeah.
By everyone and then get lucky in the Super Bowl.
You have to play the Bills over the Chiefs.
But so before we talk about you never know. Before we talk about the Bears though, let's get into V's. Let's get into V's 49ers. Big move.
Yes, sir.
Big gamble. Big risk.
That's a big gamble.
I don't think it's a gamble.
There's a lot of picks, bro.
Christian McCaffrey going to the 49ers.
I think they gave up a lot.
It's just like at the end of the day, when you're trying to compete, picks don't matter that much.
You started to sound like a Rams fan.
We saw how
look
it
at that.
4th round, 5th round.
Yeah, look how it's working out.
Right.
Well, V, so for everybody listening, give us your first reaction. Give us your first reaction of the CMC trade.
So I was about to go to bed. I was literally chilling on my phone, like all right, about to get up, brush my teeth, go to bed, and I get notifications on for Schefter. I get Schefter tweet, it just pops up on my screen. It goes, 49ers are trading for Christian McCaffrey or for like Carolina running back Christian McCaffrey, and I was like, huh? I was like, what? And I clicked the tweet, and I'm like, is this real? Like, am I getting trolled? What's happening? And then like I start seeing it everywhere, and I was like, holy shit! I knew we were in the running. Us and the Rams were in the favorites. It's like I don't know
how the Rams were in the running. But okay.
They were offering the 3 last picks they have. But they I was like I loved the idea of it before, but I just didn't think it was realistic. So when it actually happened, it was like, holy shit! Like we are actually in it, and like as like also being a Giants fan, I'm used to seeing the team go, yeah, we're trying to win, and then not do anything. So this was really like a statement move, I think, to the fan base, and also showing us that like they are committed to
Jimmy
like
G.
understand. No, that they're. See, this is what I was gonna say. I think this is even more so. It's not a rental.
Imagine trying to justify your quarterback every week.
He's got 2 years left on his contract after this, which are non-guaranteed. He's got a lot of injury protections on his contract.
Imagine tailoring your roster around
but I think it's great for Trey when he comes back next year, having an option with him, McCaffrey, who can run the ball. He ran the ball very well. We actually ran the ball very well.
And he can play slot if he really
wants to.
Run
You can bring Debo in the backfield. And Trey just needs to be let loose the same way the Bears are letting. Look what happened when they let Justin Fields play his game.
No other option, boy.
When Justin Fields played his game,
receivers outside of Darnell going to make a play. No,
Daniel Jones is playing his game, and it's working for them.
Saquon.
You just gotta let the quarterback play his game. But yeah, it's like I'm super excited for it. I already told him I was like, I gotta order my jersey. He's like, are you serious?
I know, I was about to say.
I've been the biggest slut for CMC in fantasy for the last like 3-4
years. All right.
He carried me to a 15-1 year where I lost in a final, or I lost in the playoffs, and it hurt. And I was like, ever since then, I always try to get him. I'm always trying to get him. Got him last year, the day before he went down. But yeah, so like now it's just like a prophecy coming true for me.
All right. Well, I just wanted to get that, before you guys are disappointed again in the playoffs. So just want to.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's Jimmy G, man.
Yeah.
McCaffrey can play quarterback. Y'all still gonna
you see this one? The little,
even if you make the Super Bowl, y'all still gonna lose.
That's
I just started sweating off of that.
But
your love McCaffrey on a 49er is ridiculous.
Let's get into the Bears though. Specifically, we haven't really had that much good news or good things to really say. So obviously there's been a lot of Justin Fields slander.
Too much.
Does he deserve the slander? What are we seeing, especially obviously us four as fans? Do we believe? I believe he is a franchise quarterback.
He was my favorite quarterback in coming into the draft.
Do you know how big he is? You know what his measurables are?
Like height and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't he like 6'2", 6'3"?
He's 6'3", 230.
It's a big boy.
Bro, and he moves like that.
And
he can throw like that too, I'm telling you.
Quick question though for everybody. What school he go to?
OSU.
Hey, nah, that's what I need to hear.
There's been some role reversals.
I'm okay with that.
But I am liking what I'm seeing though. Especially from the defensive side of the ball. The rookies are performing. That was one thing that
oh my God. I'm telling you. I'm not trying to I know I already ruined my coach of the year candidate. I'll ruin my defensive rookie of the year candidate. Jaquan Brisker.
Hey.
That boy plays hard as fuck. That dude's got a motor. That dude's got a sense for. I think having Roquan on the team really kind of rubs off on him as well. They're both dogs.
I would now I'm on the
that's also my decoy candidate. One of like 4.
Oh. Like that.
He was my
I'm spitting game. I'm ready for these awards. I'm excited.
I'm just saying though, but I'm liking what I'm actually seeing so far. They performed on a primetime game finally. Against the Patriots, especially in a hostile especially in a hostile environment. I just believe
according to Roquan, it wasn't too hostile.
Well, let's be honest. That defense had just shut down the Browns.
Yeah.
And
I picked them up in our fantasy league.
Oh, I don't remember what the other one was. Who did they just play? It was the Browns last week, I think.
Browns were playing the Patriots last week, yes.
And the Lions, who had just been averaging like 34 a game before they got shut out by the Patriots.
Dallas and then the Patriots, right? Or was it Patriots and Dallas?
Who are you talking about?
The Lions.
No, but they had
Patriots and then Dallas. It was but yeah. But I'm just liking what I'm seeing all around now. I think that actually trusting Justin Fields to actually throw the ball. There are still, some mistakes.
That was very refreshing.
But
I just think I think some of the mistakes is just because he is 6'3". I didn't really know he was 6'3", but he looks small behind his offensive line.
He does. He doesn't look Kyler small, but he looks small.
I mean, if you're not Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, where you're like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, but like Justin Fields got a record right now. He's on a nice little game record. He got passes off the helmet like two of his teammates for each week now, like throwing it right off their fucking dome.
Yep.
Like,
I think the more that they throw plays out there for him to throw the ball, because I think when you go from playing in college and you got two future wide receivers in Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave who are in the NFL now, and you're with them for 2-3 years, you build up chemistry.
Yeah, and
they throw the ball a lot at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he also had there was a Dobbins as well was there.
Yeah, JK,
a receiver out of the backfield as well. So he was very comfortable with what the personnel he had at Ohio State. You're not comfortable with what you got in Chicago yet. You've already changed. You're 2 years under 2 OCs. You haven't had a consistent personnel around you for your O-line, for your receivers, for your running backs. I mean, you've had Monty, and that's why you see such a good connection with them, him and Herbert and Monty, and Mooney. But like the guys he's been with for 2 years, there's more. I just think the more that they get reps under it, I think those bad throws, those misfires, those him holding the ball too long, a lot of that's going to go out the window. There's just been no consistency for 2 years now.
Yeah,
or a year and a half.
And also, too, just to piggyback off your point about like the Ohio State thing, yes, they throw the ball a lot, but they work out a shotgun a lot. And Alex Smith brought this up like right before the game started, and it's and it was like, where
you're going with that?
Like Justin Fields, with Nagy, we had him under center
all the time,
under center a lot, and even his quarterback runs were always up the middle. It was no way in the world he was able to utilize his speed by just diving straight into the offensive line, going nowhere. When you look at what Luke Getsy doing, yes, the reason why I think we struggle so much to start is because I think Luke Getsy's trying to figure out who the hell is Justin Fields. Like, okay, let's start the first 3 games under center. Cool. I'm seeing my success with play actions. Cool. I see he can get out to the outside. Cool. Now look at what we just did against the Patriots. He was in a shotgun more, a lot more quarterback design runs, but his runs were aware outside the numbers. Like, let me use your speed to get here. Like, my man's had a fumble and still got us a first down. Like,
that was fucking crazy.
Like, he utilizes his speed really well. I think them breaking the game up like that, being able to depend on David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Khalil's a good, whether he's going to be our starter or our backup, hell of a fucking running back.
He'll probably be the starter for the year after we have to pay Monty, because I doubt we do that.
Yeah, I don't know if we do.
What the NFL is trending towards. If you're not absolutely elite, you don't get paid. But
but I believe
he's explosive as hell.
I believe though, before you go see is I'd say give Justin Fields at least 2-3 more years. You have to at this point.
Well, I mean, yeah,
100%.
You got to write out. They do the same thing the Giants did with the Daniel Jones. Looked far worse.
I will tell you right now, Justin Fields will earn a contract before the 5th year than Daniel
before
Jones
the 5th year.
has.
Yeah.
But I also think that what they're doing this year that they didn't do last year is just letting Justin be Justin. Again, call those shotgun plays, call those design quarterback runs. Don't put somebody who has the athletic ability and speed that he does under center as if he's Peyton fucking Manning or Tom Brady or, you know what I'm saying, or even Aaron Rodgers. Tailor the offense towards what he can do. And you're seeing that with this game and some of the other games where we played well, that even against you guys, we were running him a lot.
Yep. Well, I mean, the weather, I think, also probably played a big role in that game.
Forced us into that.
You bring up the weather every time.
He will.
Bro, I was driving in that weather. It was fucking terrible.
But I just think tailor the offense around Justin Fields, and you will see a lot more success than what we've done.
Yeah, and with the shorter quarterback too, like you have this offensive line issue of him throwing
6'3". That fucking ain't short.
It's short for a QB. It's pretty short for a QB.
No, it's
not like short.
It's average.
Russ is short for a QB.
Yes.
Russ is short for
He's
QB.
6'2".
Tyler is short.
Tyler's tiny.
Yeah.
But you have to get watch Kyler drop back. He's taking 8 steps, right? Because he needs to be able to see over his offensive line. If Fields has the same thing, put him in the shotgun, so he's starting further back behind his offensive line, and he can start seeing his reads quicker.
He can see just fine.
Some of these linemen are
like they need to be able to back up and run is what he needs to do.
Yeah. So
or get him out the pocket like he's fine.
Exactly.
I'm just happy about it. We'll obviously see how the rest of the season plays out. They're probably just toying with us.
We got Dallas.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, we could upset them. I'm just saying. But now we're gonna get into some mid-season awards. So I'm going to go down the list here. Last one we're gonna do is MVP. So first one that I got here for y'all We'll each go one by one. Let's go with our NFL Coach of the Year. Who's y'all NFL Coach of the Year so far this season?
Brian Dable.
Brian Dable.
Doug Peterson.
I agree. That's my
I
number
got
2.
Doug P.
Maybe my number 3.
I'm gonna go with Nick Sirianni from
That's my
Philadelphia.
number 2.
Nice.
That's my number 2.
Pleasant surprise that they are. Again, we looked at their schedule. It's a cakewalk. But, still having them
The
at 6
NFC
and 0.
East is a cakewalk. That
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
they all have cakewalks.
You got to handle
Yeah.
your business, though, right?
They all have
Yeah.
cakewalks.
Next
Yeah,
one.
speaking from like a true Niner fan right there.
Next one that we got here, our NFL Comeback Player of the Year.
Saquon Barkley.
Fuck you,
Saquon.
Saquon.
I'm gonna go on a
That one's
different one.
easy.
I'm gonna go on a different one here. I'm actually gonna go with Geno Smith, for my comeback player of the year
I
because
feel like he was never gone.
No, I know, but he hasn't had the starting opportunity like this. And then honorary mention, definitely for sure, Brian Robinson. Coming back after the gunshot wounds and all that, and he's looking like
Will
a
they
true
count
leading
that?
back for them.
They might count that.
Yeah, they probably will. He'll get
Yeah.
votes for sure.
They
Yeah.
might count that.
Mhm.
Next one. Now we're gonna go to our rookie of the years.
Yeah,
Defensive
I like
rookie
that.
of the year for the season. Who y'all got?
I
Juan
got
Brisker.
I got too much sauce.
Juan Brisker.
I'm going sauce.
I'd probably have Sauce, but I think Tariq Woolen from Seattle is making a really strong case as well.
Legion of Boom coming back?
Is Jordan Brooks a rookie? Their middle linebacker?
No. He was playing for them last year. I think he led the league in
Yeah.
tackles last year.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Okay. I agree with those picks. Next one we got
Sauce would be number
NFL
2, but he doesn't have the actual statistics, but the coverage
He
is
has a
obviously
coverage
Yeah.
stats and defend the
Correct.
passive defended, but he's not picking a lot of guys off. Where
Yeah.
Tariq has got similar
Picking-
coverage stats, but he's got like 5, I think.
Yeah, he has 4 or 5 interceptions on the year so
Yeah.
far. Next one we got here is our NFL Offensive
pretty wild.
Rookie of the Year. Who y'all got?
This one's tough.
I had Brees Hall.
Yeah, I also had Brees Hall, but
Yeah.
that's not going to happen anymore. It was
I
too
had
early
him
in the
up
year
on
for
my
that.
board.
And now it's kind of like a toss-up because we've seen a lot of guys go up and down based on their quarterback play or opportunity based on
Health.
injury. And like projection for the rest of the season, it's gonna be between, for me, Dameon Pierce
Dameon Pierce was my
or
number
Kenneth
2.
Walker. But I think both of them becoming the starting running backs for their teams gives them ample opportunity to shine.
Mhm.
And Pierce getting like 20 carries a game.
Do we think any
is-
old linemen are going to have a chance
No.
similar to last year, like Creed Humphrey?
No, I don't think so.
Cindy Pugh. Oh, wait, is Pugh?
No, second year.
No,
Second year as
for him.
well. He was
Yeah,
also
so-
in that conversation last year.
Yeah, second year for
I think
him.
this year the
Or
playmakers
Brees,
are
man.
making.
That's tough. My other option outside of Dameon Pierce, Ken Walker if he continues, I
Yeah.
think as well. But I like Dameon Pierce has been kind of doing it since the start, even though he was splitting early on.
Yeah.
I'll go
Mhm.
Chris Olave.
Yeah.
That's
You
what-
motherfucker. I was just about
That's
to go.
the other one I was saying.
Okay,
You
I
know,
was
opportunity due
going-
to injury.
Yeah.
Chris
Oh, you
Olave
got
has
me
been.
back.
Yeah, but even when he had Mike Thomas and
He was okay. He was doing okay. But
Jarvis.
he really took off.
right, but he was still catching. Like
Yeah.
when he was thrown
Yeah.
to, he was catching
Yeah.
it. Now he's getting the big plays.
The,
and they're
the
tailoring
issue
him.
with the way it works is opportunity is so important when it comes to award winners. They don't care about what you do with your opportunities. They want to see you get a lot of
Yeah,
opportunities.
now he's
right?
doing both. He's
Well,
done something
if-
with his opportunities, and he's
Yeah,
getting a lot
but
of
if MT
targets.
comes back and Landry comes back, is he going to go back down or is he going to continue to do what he's doing?
I
That's
think-
If
I
he
where-
goes
think
back down, they go back to losing.
Yeah,
Not
I
that
think
they're
they
not already losing.
put Landry down because once you
Correct.
got Mike Thomas back, you can't
Chris
push back.
Olave's too fucking
Can't push
good.
back
Yeah.
a lot.
I've
Yeah.
been trying
agree
my
with
hardest the last 3 years to shit on him. He's too fucking good.
So now we are heading into our offensive and defensive player of the year awards. Who is your defensive player of the year? Anybody? Anybody? Don't all go at once. Well, I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
I
go
want
with
to
if he
see who
stays like
somebody.
this.
I wanted to see who someone else said, so I could just pick
If
someone
he
else.
if he
give
if
your
he
four-man
goes
tie?
if he
Yeah.
goes like this, I'm going Mike Parsons. I don't
Ugh,
see how you can't.
you're
I don't see how you
God,
can't.
You just
I-
love the hype. You love the
You're
hype.
the basic.
You love the hype.
The man's
I'm
like
basic.
basic, like all defensive,
You're
all
basic.
defensive.
I'm
stats
taking
somehow.
Matt Judon.
Ooh.
After that fucking game he put up yesterday, leading the league, he's got what 9.5 sacks.
Yeah.
I'm taking Matt Judon right now. He was in my big four.
Okay.
Parsons was at 4. Judon was actually at 2.
Who was your 1?
I went Judon. I'm giving somebody else a chance to throw out the 1. I don't want to take somebody's.
V, who you got?
What do you think I got? Let's be honest here.
Are you serious?
The guy who was leading every pass rushing category
Shut
before
up.
missing a game due to a groin injury.
Oh my
Come
God,
on, dude. That's
bro.
almost as bad as Micah Parsons.
No, he's actually in the top rankings. He's not 5th and 6th in every defensive category. He was first in every pass rushing category.
Sacks.
Before he missed a game due to injury.
But is he first in sacks?
Not right now.
Can't say
Give him a few
before.
more games, and then he'll catch up. Catch right
Right
back
now,
up.
had 2.5 yesterday.
Vitor, you
Who
disappoint
yesterday?
me, bro.
Go look at the fucking stats. Start watching the fucking football. Jesus Christ.
I'm watching the Bears.
Just 'cause
I'm
he-
watching the Bears whoop that ass.
Just because he
I'm watching-
plays for my team doesn't mean he's not one of the best pass rushers in the league.
Why V just tee
I
up
respect-
like that?
I respect the fire.
He
Isaac,
would
who
be
you
a
got?
word, though.
Who
He's
you
not
got?
gonna hate
Isaac?
us.
I got the NFL leader in tackles, Roquan Smith.
Yes, sir. Come on. All right,
You
nobody
know,
said. Nobody
my
said.
boy
Darius
got the-
Slay was my other one.
It's so hard.
Yeah, that
for
was my
corners
one,
to
yeah.
win it.
Yeah, I mean Trayvon Diggs was second last year.
I
But they
didn't
hype.
throw sauce
If he
in there,
doesn't give
too.
up almost 1,000 yards receiving, he wins it
Yeah.
hands down.
Now we are getting into our juicy positions. The last two here. So second to last offensive player of the year.
This one's tough.
Is it?
Yes,
Isaac, who
because
you got?
I feel like this is a consolation award a lot of the times.
Who you got? Offensive player of the year.
It's a non-quarterback award is what it is.
I'm still thinking. I'm trying to break
It's
up
a
my tweet.
non-quarterback
Hurts can
award.
get it.
No,
We'll see. It depends on how they perform, but
I can give
it's
you
a
mine.
possibility.
Go ahead, see. Let me see.
I got
Offensive player of the
Stephon
year.
Diggs right now.
It's a very good option.
Okay. Okay.
Right now, mid-season.
Mid-season V, who you
I'm
got
not
mid-season?
saying that Cup won't take it, but I'll take Stephon right now.
I'm gonna go with.
I think it's a
Saquon
receiver
Barkley.
running back. Yeah, that's fair too. That was my number 2.
you
Number
going
3
with?
would have been Cup.
Who you going with?
Me,
Yeah.
Saquon. Barkley.
Saquon. Okay. Okay. Isaac, you ready or no?
Yep, I got it because he's gonna be my MVP pick too. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, see. That's where I was saying the
Roll
consolation
Tide.
pick thing. A lot of time, I have a feeling that
You can't give MVP awards because somebody's emotional and I'm an emotional leader.
Well, it's through the first
Stats and substance is actually part of
through
you.
the first 4 weeks, he was definitely there. Now he's fallen off last couple. I've
Why
seen
you
coming off the
just
bye.
coming on my
That's why I
man's
said it really depends on
Bro,
what how they
I've been defending Jalen Hurts since he was just turned 18 years old and people were
You
shitting on him
just
because he
hurt
can't
my
throw the
man's-
ball.
You just
That's
hurt
it.
my
They
They
man.
just,
Absolutely
they just got to
love
start
Jalen
scoring in the
Hurts.
second half a little bit more, and he'll be right back up there.
Yeah. I'm
I
actually
love
gonna
Jalen
go
Hurts
with
more than Tua, more than Mac, not more than Bryce, but more than previous quarterbacks. I won't name the
Fuck man.
respect
the
that.
Blake Sims and the Jake Cokers of the world and the
Oh, McElroy, Greg McElroy.
hey, Greg's a dog.
Oh, I
I
know.
don't like him more than
AJ
Jalen.
AJ
Greg's a dog.
AJ McCarron.
AJ
AJ's a
McCarron.
true OG
Yeah.
dog for the saving era.
The one that I'm gonna go with though, it's probably gonna surprise y'all. I think this is a very sneaky pick. Cooper Cup. That is all.
Oh.
I just said I put him at third.
Yeah, it's
I
not
I mean,
sneaky.
sneaky.
It's
Your
not-
ass loves the hype.
You're not
Micah
gonna surprise.
Parsons and Cooper Cup. Who the fuck?
The next one
We'll
here,
see.
our
You are-
MVP.
Junior.
Why are we even saying this?
Yeah, why are we saying this?
Who y'all going with?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Although
Isaac.
steaming the second place.
Isaac, who you going with?
Jalen Hurts. Well, my boy. Once again, I'm
Jalen
sticking with the Hurts train.
I will agree. I will say this: when you looked at last year with the Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers was the debate. Tom was beating him in every stat except for picks
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
QBR, and they did give it to Aaron.
Mhm.
They were 13-3. The Bucks were 11-5.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were 11-5.
So the better record. So I mean, if the Eagles do end up going 15-1, or what, 15-2,
16-1.
16-1, 15-2. But I mean, I don't think the Bills go 13-4 or 14-3, one or the other. If not
Yeah.
15-2 alone. And he's going to have better stats than Jalen in every category. And it's not like Jalen's going to be outdoing him in rushing yards either.
Yeah.
What? You gonna outdo him in rushing touchdowns, though?
Right. While Josh quadruples his passing touchdowns.
That's fine. Every time.
Honestly, quintuples probably.
Yeah.
Does Jalen even get to 20? Do we think?
What's he at right
No.
now?
Single digits?
Well,
Yeah, he's
Probably
at 2
7
or
or
3.
8.
No,
Yeah,
less
If he's
than that.
lucky.
He has
Passing
6.
touchdowns.
He has that 6.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll
Passing?
get.
Josh was at 16 2 weeks ago. I
He's
don't know
not.
where he's at
No,
now.
he's not. He's going to score more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns this year.
No,
Yeah, but
but
he'll
that's
get
not the
to
point.
around.
That
He'll get
low key
somewhere.
kind of. When I just said that though, I was just like, damn, I really just picked him for MVP.
He'll get 15 to 20.
I mean, Lamar did it, but Lamar also threw for almost 40 that year
Yes.
and ran for a ridiculous amount.
My
That
pick
ain't gonna
is
happen. I love him, but it ain't gonna happen.
I was gonna go on a different hype train. I'm sure y'all knew where I was gonna go with it, but I'm gonna go Josh
Cooper
Allen
Kupp?
as well.
Were you gonna go Cooper Kupp?
No,
No, I
quarter.
think
I was
the
gonna go
guy-
with a quarterback. I was gonna go
The
with a
He's going
quarterback.
Pat
steaming to
Mahomes.
second place.
He's going
that I
Pat
said is Pat
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yes, sir. That was my second pick. But I'm gonna respect this one here, and I'm gonna go Josh Allen.
Mahomes has to do, I think, a lot more.
Dude, he's
Two.
already thrown 55,000. He's already
Yeah.
thrown 50
And
touchdowns.
I'm saying this year to get MVP.
He's already
Yeah.
lost to the Bills.
Yeah.
Hey, you never
Everybody
know,
already
man.
hates him.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know. Travis
Everyone hates
Kelsey
his
though,
girlfriend
maybe.
or fiance.
Travis Kelsey may be MVP. I
Offensive
don't
player
know.
of the year, maybe.
We'll see. Who knows?
I'm picking Bills. Steph and Josh.
Can I change my offensive player of the year?
Yeah,
Two.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I want
Mark
Tyreek
Andrews?
Hill.
Oh, solid.
I don't
Quarterback
think it
proof.
happens, but
Quarterback proof. You
yeah.
want to run through pick'ems or no?
Yeah, let's do some pick'ems this week.
I
Let's do
think
some
we skipped them
pick'ems.
last week. And we can
NFL
kinda fire
week
through some
8.
quick stuff.
Yeah, NFL week 8 pick'ems. Here we go. So we are starting off with the Thursday game. Maybe it might be a good one. Who knows? Depends on which Bucks that
all
we get.
terrible.
That is Bucks Ravens, right?
Bucks Ravens. Who we taking?
Ravens.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
God,
I'm going with the
this could be
Ravens.
actually-
Isn't it in Tampa Bay?
It is in Tampa Bay.
I'm
This is
taking
a
Tampa.
hard
I'm
one.
taking Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna go.
Is this a
I'm gonna
get
go-
right game for Tampa Bay?
No, I don't
No.
think either team's good.
I think
Nope.
both teams have really bad secondaries.
And Bateman's
bad
out
offenses.
again.
He's not out yet. but
They listed him as
he's
about
banged up.
participant.
Andrews is still banged up. I think
I think
Bucks are
Lamar, in my opinion, with the Ravens, Lamar has to do too much fucking backpacking to where if he isn't perfect, they lose.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even when he's iffy, they lose. Like
Look,
he can be semi-perfect and still lose.
yeah.
I'm taking Baltimore over Grandpa Tom.
Mm.
I also think Leonard Fournette had an off game last week. I think he's gonna affect the game a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for my fantasy team, please. I need
Yeah,
that.
same.
That makes
I have
that makes
Eckler.
three of us.
We have Eckler on bye. We need that.
Yeah. Next one we got here, another London game actually. It's
Mhm.
gonna be a fun one. Broncos and Jaguars.
God bless you.
Oh, thank God we can sleep through that one.
Jacksonville.
I'm gonna
That
take
double
Jacksonville.
digits.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. All righty.
Yeah,
Did you say
they-
Broncos double digits?
Yeah, I got Jacksonville by
No,
double
he said
digits.
Oh,
Jacksonville.
oof, I thought I heard Broncos double digits. I was like,
Jacksonville.
Damn.
What? Jacksonville's damn near playing at home.
Yes.
take
Let's be
Jacksonville.
honest. They've been in London every year for the last 5. They're
Correct.
comfortable.
Next one here we got Dolphins at Lions.
Dolphins.
I'm gonna
Everyone else
actually
is-
go
I'll take
with
Lions.
I'm gonna go with the Lions upset as well. I'm
If
going
St.
with the
Brown and
Lions.
Swift come back, I can feel them.
Yeah, I got Lions. Jared
It's a big
Goff.
if, but
I got to see more from that defense. I think
Yeah.
I'm just picking the Lions
Yeah.
because picking
Big
the
upset.
Lions. I know I got
Well,
my boys over
I
there.
just think that if they get
Tua
obviously
and Jay
St. Brown,
Watts roll tide.
I'm just saying if they get St. Brown back and DeAndre Swift, like their offense is back to where it was at the beginning of the season,
Yeah,
maybe it'll
and then
probably
that-
be a
when they-
shootout.
yeah.
So we'll see.
Dude, that might be like 40-40.
Yeah. Next one
That'd
here
be
we
wild.
got the Panthers at Falcons. I'm gonna go with the
God. I'll go Falcons.
I'm gonna go with
I'm gonna go
with the
Panthers. I'm gonna go
I'm gonna
Panthers.
go Panthers.
I'm gonna go Panthers.
Steve
I'm
Wilkes,
gonna
man.
Falcons.
I'm going Panthers.
I'm
Yeah.
going with
I
the
haven't
Dolphins.
seen anything from Kyle Pitts, Drake London. They still don't have Cordero Patterson. I don't think they've won a game since he came out, except for against you guys, right?
Yeah.
1-3 or
Yeah.
1-4.
Weird.
1-3.
Weird.
Weird.
Don't say Pitts though. That man has ruined That man is my one flaw in one of my.
It's a
leagues.
cheese
guy. Quick question: should I trade Kyle Pitts?
For what? A bag
No
of
one-
chips?
Yeah, bro.
Hold on, let's see. Let's figure this out. Real
At this
quick.
point, you could probably grab somebody off the waivers who's going to give you at least
Yeah,
6 points.
literally.
Irv Smith?
Well, I got
What's it
Dallas
called?
Goddard already, so.
Oh, what the hell?
What are you doing?
But
Just package him as like a.
so I don't
sweetener.
have a quarterback.
Pitts and
So
Goddard for.
I could trade it for Geno Smith.
I wouldn't take that if I was the Geno owner, even if I needed a tight end.
Yeah, Darrell Henderson and Romeo Dobbs, but I got to give up James Conner with.
I'm holding
For
out.
who?
I got James Conner in 2 leagues. I'm holding out on James Conner.
Dobbs has been awful the last like 3-4 games.
But
Right,
and then
can we do this after?
Yeah, bro, we getting too much
No.
into all that. No, you getting too much.
The Pitts terrible.
You have to throw
Pitts is
Pitts. You have to throw
terrible,
Pitts on
yeah.
as like the sprinkles on top of a
Pitts is
cupcake.
phenomenal. Hey, what are you trying to throw shade at my Josh Allen trade?
You throw Pitts on as like you want the cupcake for the cake and the frosting. You get a little bit of sprinkle on top.
Patrick's the cupcake. Jacoby Myers is the frosting.
And
Kyle
you get
Pitts
Pitts and
was the
yeah.
sprinkles.
So the next
how
one
you
we
gotta-
got,
Josh Allen was the whole ass cake, motherfucker. Give me that shit.
next one we got is Cardinals at Vikings. I'm gonna go Vikings. Yeah.
Vikings.
Shout out
I
Peter.
hate that I have to say that.
I don't.
I'm sticking by the fact I said they'd go 7-1 before
Hey,
losing.
and then the Cardinals, like we just said, they can be on that track to go 2-5, 2-6. So
I
we'll
think
see
they're
what
back
happens.
on track, but their defense is.
I think
really
Hop
pieced
coming
to-
back is huge for them, especially with Hollywood going out.
And they got 3 wins. They can't go 2 on anything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they do now. I'm sorry. Next one, Raiders at Saints.
Raiders.
I just got this feeling that Raiders gonna choke this.
I have a Saints feeling too. I don't know if it's the Kamara owner in me.
Yeah, I got
That's-
Saints.
I don't know if
There's
it's the
something
Kamara.
inside of me that's like Derek Cosman like wet the bed on
I'm
Sunday.
going Raiders.
That defense is bad.
Derek Carr can keep wetting the bed. They better be able to stop Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Yep. There we go.
Hey,
Roll Tide.
New Orleans run defense.
They're
is
more than
solid.
capable.
Where's that been all year?
The run defense has been there. The pass defense has not.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Right, so then they throw all over his ass.
Yeah, but this Derek Carr.
And then it opens up
Derek
the
Carr's
run
the one
D.
throwing.
The next one here we got Steelers at Eagles.
Eagles.
There we go.
I think it's
Next
close.
one.
I think the Steelers been playing solid ball.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
With
think.
Kenny Pickett playing, I think they play
I
solid
think
ball.
I think the
But
first
it's
half
going to be
stays
Eagles
close.
for sure.
I think the
Yeah.
only reason it's close would be because the Eagles come off their bye slow. That's the only reason it would be close.
Jalen Hurts ain't going to let that happen.
A lot of teams come off their buys slow for some reason.
Not Jalen Hurts.
Next one we got here, divisional game, Jets versus the Patriots. This is at
Jets.
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 Patriots.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go
Oh, take
Patriots if
Zappy?
Bailey plays. Yep, if Bailey plays, I will go.
Who is
with
he throwing
Patriots.
to?
That just threw
I
the
don't
pick.
care.
Who's he throwing to?
Don't matter. Jacoby
dude-
Myers.
Jacoby Myers with Mondre Stevenson.
Bailey 2 picks?
He threw 3 against the
Bro,
Bears.
Was it 3? I thought it was 2.
He
No,
threw
he
another
took-
fight late.
He only did 2.
I thought it was 2 as well.
He did 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions because they didn't score on the final 5 possessions that they had.
Oh, Mac Jones. threw a
Mac
pick.
Jones had 1. Mac
Yeah,
had 1.
he
That's
took-
where you get the 3rd one.
Yes.
Bailey 2 picks against Sauce. Sauce might get a pick finally. I
Who
don't
knows?
think he has one yet on the year.
I'm
Next,
just saying,
I think he only has 1 on the year.
I think the injuries they're going to make a really big impact. Their offense is going to be even more stagnant unless they decide to throw Flacco in there.
Yeah, that too. Who knows?
You get Joe Wilson back.
Next one, Titans at Texans. I think Titans. You would think
Oh no. Who'd you
Maybe.
say?
Titans at
and-
Texans. Titans at Texans.
Titans.
Titans.
Yeah, Titans
Tennessee.
all day.
Derrick Henry's gonna
Um,
go for honestly, I think Derrick Henry eclipses 200.
Oh, this is going to be that 200, 2 to 3
That-
study game that he gets every year, that
Yeah.
like 50-pointer.
It just
Tannehill's a
might
little
be.
banged up. He might touch the ball 35, 40 times.
I know
this
you're
game.
shaking, Isaac.
Isaac getting scared in the podcast league. The Glizzy Gladiators is 7-0.
7-0.
7-1.
Man.
Okay,
Next one.
Relax.
Next handful that we got here is Giants at Seahawks. It's a good game. I believe the Seahawks take this one though at Seahawks.
Nope, Giants. It's gonna come down to the wire, and who's been winning games under the wire, like close down to the wire? The Giants. So
The
I'm gonna rock
Giants have
out.
been.
They are 4-1 this year when they are trailing the fourth quarter. They are 4-1.
They're one of the best fourth quarter teams.
And Geno doesn't play well.
This is a tough game. This is a tough game to call.
It is.
It could really go either way. Because
I'm going Giants.
I think Ken Walker
Giants.
can run all over the Giants, but I think the Giants are just a
Yeah, but
better
Tyler
run
Lockett
team.
might not play. DK's not playing.
Yeah.
They have no
Mm.
one to throw to out wide. So that kind of
Hey,
takes
don't
Geno out
disrespect
there.
Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Marquise
played
Goodwin.
solid. He had a solid game
He
against
did.
the Chargers.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's very hard to have.
But I
solid games
mean, when
against the
you have
Chargers.
DK and Tyler Lockett playing,
That's
a lot
much
different.
easier. This one here, I think this one might be a stinker. Commanders at Colts.
Give me the Commanders.
I'm gonna go with Commanders as well.
Heineke.
Give me the gunslinger, Sam Ellinger.
Sam Ellinger, yeah.
All
I think
right.
the Colts running backs are gonna finally have a solid game. They
Yeah,
should
we'll
just throw
see.
Deion Jackson back in there. That boy was going wild.
Might as well at that point. So the next one's here. We got 4 more games. So we'll save the best, obviously, for last. The best 2 for last. Packers at Bills.
Bills
by
double
2 scores.
Yeah, double digits.
Damn, they're about
2 scores, 14.
maybe 3 with the way they beat offense going.
Maybe, bro. This confuzzles me. Aaron Rodgers at 3-4 post game goes, everybody needs to be. We're gonna be just fine. They got the Bills, and then the game after that. Fucking hell.
I got it right. I got you right here. So they got Bills, Lions, and then Cowboys.
There it is. Cowboys and Titans, right? Cowboys, Titans, Eagles after the Lions game.
And they got
bro.
And then they go.
Graces that
You're gonna be 4 and
are
7, maybe.
And then they go
5
Bears,
and 6 at best.
And then they go Bears,
Bears
Rams.
in Soldier Field though. That Bears and Lions game are on the road.
But I'm saying though, they go that after the Bears, they go the Rams,
The Dolphins,
then the Dolphins,
the Vikings,
again. Yeah.
Oh, they go in like 7 and 10.
Hey, it's possible.
They go in like Bears getting Bears getting number 2 in the division. At like 8 and 9. But
next one here is our
5 wins I gave them.
Our Monday night game should be a good one, maybe. Bengals at Browns. I'm gonna go Bengals. They're on a hot streak right now.
I agree.
Bengals.
Yeah. All righty. So now, obviously, the two teams that we carry so heavily on the podcast here. 49ers at Rams.
Like I said, they had the Rams well.
I'm
I know.
I'm going with these. I
I'm
traded.
not doubting you again. I'm not doubting you again at all.
I'm even starting Jimmy Garoppolo this week.
I'm telling you, we could look like the worst team in football for 3 weeks, and we play the Rams, and we can beat them. Jimmy looks like a different player against them, unless it's the playoffs. But in the regular season,
49ers all day.
Every time.
49ers.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. And the last game.
You don't even gotta open your mouth, bro. Just go ahead. We just might as well pick this
Bears and Cowboys.
Bears.
Bear down. Bear down. That's where I'm going with it.
I'm taking upset.
Realistic.
I'm going bear down.
I mean, it's gonna depend on how they call the game. Game script could come into hand if we don't stop the Cowboys early. But,
you're getting really realistic.
I'll go. I think the Cowboys are gonna win the game. I think if they can keep the game similar to what they did with the Patriots game, where they really let Justin do it. But I think it's gonna be a lot tougher. The Patriots don't got that Micah Parsons going sideline to sideline with Justin.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you can say all you want about
230 quarterback.
Yeah, but come on.
I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think it's gonna be, but I think the Cowboys will take the win.
Unfortunately, but
watch.
Bear down. Let's pull an upset. Let's two upsets in a row, baby. Let's do it.
Let's go. All righty. All right. So now that finishes our NFL weekly segment there. CC's gonna lead us into the NCAA.
It was kind of a stale week outside of Ole Miss dropping, which was really nice. I love that because
you got off with the previews for this week coming up.
It was a little stale.
I'm kind of sad though now because how we all talked about and hyped up possibly 4 SEC
I know,
teams,
bro,
and then Ole Miss, and then
I want to say shout out to
Clemson.
Clemson again.
There was the UCLA Oregon.
It was another close game, but again, Clemson does pull out the close game again. And actually, DJU did go out, and the backup came in.
True freshman,
5-star, I believe, too.
Yep.
What the fuck, Cade Klubnik? Thank you. 5-star.
No, 2.
That's gonna be his job once DJU's out. That was impressive. I was impressed by them. But outside of that, TCU stays undefeated again.
Moving up to 7 now.
I mean, Ohio State took care of business. Nothing new there. Oklahoma State came back against Texas. Bro, your schedule is trash till Michigan.
I said Iowa was trash. I ain't say nothing about our schedule.
Shout out Alabama's defense.
You just brought my
Let's hop to the other side because y'all are too good. All right. Let's hop to the other side. Okay, the other side of this podcast. Alabama's defense, after getting absolutely mollywopped by Tennessee, came out. Marco Helms played a hell of a game. Kool-Aid McKinstry played a hell of a game, had a pick. So thank the Lord we came back there. Oregon mollywopped UCLA. It was only 15 points realistically, but
yeah,
they made a statement. Like, honestly, again, if Bama loses again, they're going to be out. Ole Miss is already out. So they're going to be with Tennessee or Georgia. Whoever wins that, the other team is out. Now you're looking at a one-loss possible Pac-12 champion Oregon. Their only loss to Georgia. They could possibly slide in at 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? Unless you take, then you'd be looking at either a one-loss Tennessee or Georgia with a loss to the opposite. And then you'd be looking at a one-loss Michigan or Ohio State with the other loss to the opposite. So then you'd be picking at, do you pick a one-loss team who lost to the Big 12/SEC champion, or do you pick the Pac-12 champion with one loss to SEC? You know what I'm saying? That Oregon, if Oregon can win out, they're gonna make it really freaking interesting, and that's I like when it gets interesting.
And then get mollywopped in
That
the first
feels
round.
I think Oregon's solid. I think they've fixed a lot of things comparative to week 1.
What if TCU went out though?
Oh yeah, isn't that Big 12?
That's Big 12.
That's what I'm saying though, because TCU wins out. That's I think your 3 seed.
But you got to think about it, Danny. They knocked out teams at their like hot points.
Oh yeah,
Agreed. Oklahoma State. They beat Oklahoma State, and not only that, they've
Kansas, who was supposed to be on the way up, and it's the reason that Kansas on the downfall.
There was some earlier too. Oklahoma right after Kansas State. Oklahoma
They just
State.
played 4 weeks, like 4 weeks of just like games that look.
It has been 4 straight weeks of them dominating. Yes, that is correct. But I think it's going to be the SEC is going to control all, because obviously you still have Bama and Georgia, where if Bama wins out, then you have to take those 2 teams. And then again, if Tennessee loses to Georgia, then you're stuck with that third SEC team, which is going to be a coin flip between the Big 12, the Big 10 winner. It's going to be a coin flip between the Pac-12 winner, possibly the Big 12 winner. So you're going to be like, you could be like 6 or 7 deep of just like teams that could all make it.
I feel like a lot of times this holds true earlier on, but as you get closer on.
Right, but TCU's answered all their questions already. They should win out.
They should,
yes,
but a lot of times they don't. And that's when they take one bet.
Clemson's answered all their questions. Ohio State has 1 question left.
Yeah,
and that's the last week
all season.
But they had some. They played Notre Dame early.
I think the biggest question for Ohio State is going to be this: our defense, and people keep talking about our defense. Our defense ain't playing nobody, so you can't keep judging that. Second thing is, we could keep saying we got the most prolific offense, but we ain't playing nobody to show you got the most prolific offense. I really do think we got probably the best receivers in the country, in my opinion. Yeah. But Jackson Smith-Njigba, JJ ain't played all season. So, whenever he want to be healthy, then you could consider that. And CJ's throwing 1 pick, and the first quarter for the Buckeyes still is a trouble quarter for them for some odd reason. So,
and that's tough against a lot of, I will say, those teams with high firepower usually come out. But I'm usually all right with you all. You guys show up a little bit.
Do you think if you beat Michigan, you're in? Like, both. If you win title and beat Michigan,
I mean, they'll beat anyone other than Michigan in the Big 12 or in the Big 10.
Yeah.
There's no one else outside of Michigan, but I'm just saying, doesn't mean they're a lock, bro. You over here saying TCU could lose big. Ohio State could lose.
They could lose, yeah. But I'm saying, like, do you think if it's really tight like this, do you think the quality of the win over Michigan, like, say, if you beat them by
Ohio State
14 versus beating them by
Ohio State undefeated Big 10 champion is in no matter what.
Yeah, they'll be in.
They're in over Oregon with a loss in Pac-12 titles. They're in over Big 12 undefeated TCU. They're probably number 2 seed over either Georgia or Bama. Unless Bama wins out, I think Bama might get 1 seed. Honestly, Bama would be 2 seed. Ohio State would be 1 seed.
I was just listening to them earlier, and they had right now Tennessee is in ahead of Alabama in these play.
Yes, correct.
And then they were like,
until they lose to Georgia.
Lily was like thinking about whoever wins out the OSU and Michigan game at the end of the year gets in. Whoever
Ohio State will either be the 2 seed or the 1 seed if they win.
Exactly. And then that's when
100%.
everybody, the controversy gets in, because it's like, do you want to put an undefeated TCU team? But the talent between Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama is so like stacked, and they only probably gonna have one loss by the end of the year.
But then you look at Oregon too. Oregon would have undefeated, or they'd be undefeated outside of losing to Georgia.
Well, who
would be that team
better?
ahead of them? It would hands down be Georgia. I mean, fuck, it'd be Alabama's resume. They play better teams than Georgia.
OSU is actually just right behind in the rankings points wise.
Correct. Oh, Ohio State has the talent, but again, they haven't played anybody with that talent. So that's why I always question them until the playoff. But yeah, well, it's gonna be crazy. And we got some big games coming up. Ohio State plays Penn State in Penn State. Obviously, we saw what Michigan did with them. Oklahoma State and Kansas State, who both suffered losses to TCU. We got some tune-up games coming. Tennessee's got a tune-up before they play Georgia the following week. Georgia plays Florida at home. That's kind of a tune-up.
Oh, that game.
Tennessee plays Kentucky. Which one?
The Georgia-Tennessee game.
Oh, yeah, that's been on FanDuel for like a month.
Georgia, 13.5.
Those are kind of the bigger games. I know Alabama is off. They play Ole Miss the same week that Tennessee plays Georgia. But there's only really a few games that kind of I'm gonna be honest, Ohio State, that's a big game. On the road, if y'all show up, undoubtedly y'all are top. Especially if Georgia has another, because Georgia's had some questionable games. Obviously, with the Mizzou game, I was the biggest Missouri fan. But I mean, they've had some questionable games. Kent State was even questionable for a little bit. But they've had two of them. But again, they just play nobody, bro.
Yeah.
They play nobody. Their side of the SEC is trash. But yeah, I think it'll be in my opinion, this next week will be a similar week to this week where it's just not much movement.
Okay.
Well, we can move on. We're gonna get close. Once they start rolling them playoffs, I might just run a duo episode with Dave and just
me,
Dave, and Isaac. I'll roll it, bro.
Yeah, roll
crazy.
So
I'll root for Bama. He'll root for OSU. Dave will root for everybody else.
The next one that we're going to be getting into now, finishing off the college football segment, is the MLB. We are down to the last two teams. But before we get down to those last two teams, we're going to be talking about our eliminator teams first. So obviously, the Padres, Yankees. The Yankees got swept. They got destroyed. Padres, lost as well, obviously. But one thing I wanted to bring up is, who do we believe is more likely to win a World Series sooner? The Padres or the Yankees?
I feel like these
Padres.
are two, I'm gonna say Padres, but I feel like these are two teams that are cursed.
I'll go Padres.
I'm gonna go Padres, and I just think Yankees are chokers.
Yeah.
I think the Padres are deeper.
The Padres are doing everything
they are a better team at staying healthy. You also have to realize Tatis never played.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, doesn't play.
It matters, bro.
And I get that, but I'm just saying his bat, his persona, his just everything.
The energy.
To the game.
That's one thing I think.
That's that game where it's 2, it's 2-3. And you guys are up in the bottom of the 8th, and you got Tatis. Maybe you're already up. Instead of Bryce putting you up by 1, Tatis probably hit a home run already. At that point, that's when playoffs is when big names show up. And we've seen it from a lot of guys. Bryce was just the biggest one I've seen so far. I think Tatis especially shows up in that moment.
Well, I think you also noticed that I think Manny was carrying a lot of personality for the team this year that he hasn't really.
That's not him. That's
what I'm saying. He hasn't shown because Tatis was out and they needed somebody to be that fire for that team.
That's what Juan Soto brought.
Yeah.
Who's also a fucking dog. I would 100% say Padres. I also don't know what the Yankees are going to be able to retain versus.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. All the reports are saying the Giants are going to go all in on Judge. Yankees fans are like, okay, let him leave, bring in pitching, go after.
Even so, there was a new report. The Dodgers may be willing to let Trey Turner walk.
Nope.
No. Get Aaron Judge and move Mookie to second base.
Center.
No, to second base. Yes.
Who's playing short? Gavin?
Yes.
I mean, I always thought it was weird. Gavin was batting fucking like over 300 all season, and
they want him
playing like every 2 or 3 games.
Every Dodgers page I see, they're like, trade Gavin Lux, get rid of him.
Yeah, because they could probably get a bag for him. Dude's batting over 300, and he's only playing every 2-3 games.
Yeah, remember,
But
it's Dodgers fans. Most of them don't really know.
That is the possible report, though, is that they would let Trey walk and put Mookie at second base and let Aaron Judge roam right field.
That don't make him any better, in my opinion.
But I'm gonna pick the Padres.
They need to get healthy pitching.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick the Padres, though. I just believe they're better set up for the future compared to the Yankees, where the Yankees just literally buy and buy and buy, and you get the same thing every single year.
Yeah, we see with the Dodgers.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Padres. But now let's get into our World Series preview, though.
I like the Padres.
Let's get into our World Series preview, though. Astros versus Phillies. Who we got?
Stros.
I'm loving the story.
I think Stros in 5 or 6. I know you said
Phillies in 7.
That does seem like a likely script, but I think the Astros just look like they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper's firing on
7-0.
Yeah. I'm taking B. Harper.
I agree. I like Bryce Harper right now, but I mean, when you have to face Garcia, McCullers,
Verlander,
you got to face Verlander, and then you got to face
No.
Valdez.
I'm gonna take the team that has literally knocked out one of my picks already. That was supposed to make it in the Braves. So I'm gonna rock out with the Phillies, just because I don't want to go.
I mean, they are rocking a lot of momentum, but at the same time, I feel like the Astros have even more motivation and momentum.
You said Astros in 5 or 6.
Well, yeah, do you make me pick? If you're gonna make me pick, I'll pick 6 because I think it's safer. But
I'm going with the Astros,
so good, man.
I'm going with the Astros actually in 5.
Yeah,
I'm going Astros in 5. I just think that the motivation, they're more motivated to prove people wrong to win this World Series based off of obviously the investigation. I know, especially based off of the investigations and everything and the cheating scandal and all that. But I just think that they're way more skilled. You can rely more on that pitching staff, and they're way more deeper in that.
When does it start tomorrow?
Friday. Friday they start. I'm gonna go Astros in 5. Well, it's tough. It's tough for you, huh?
I'm gonna pull you a precedent. I'm gonna go an Astros sweep.
Oh.
I'm gonna go Astros sweep.
Astros sweep.
All right, I got Phillies in 7. We'll stick to that.
I think Bryce will do his thing. I just don't know if the rest of the team can.
Well, Bryce, Schwarber, and Hoskins have been the team.
Yes.
I don't see the pitching.
The pitching
beyond Zach Wheeler.
Keeping
and
the
Nola.
Astros off the
Nola's
what do you mean Nola? The only game the Padres won was against Aaron Nola.
Oh, well, I know, but I'm saying like he's
gave up like 6 earned. Yeah, but when you're opposite of a Lance McCullers, or you know what I'm saying, or a Framber Valdez, like, and saying it's like, oh, Zach Wheeler's pitching, okay, Cy Young's pitching across from you.
They're just better at every
and I get there's not a lot of guys outside of Schwarber and Harper that hit fastballs like that, but that would also be the other thing I would say is a lot of the Phillies pitchers aren't powerhouse pitchers, and the Astros absolutely mash powerhouse pitching.
Yes.
And Nestor Cortez, I guess, too. But
hey,
I'm just Astros glad. Sweep.
It was good to see.
I'm going a clean 11-0. Astros sweep 11-0. I think this is hands down a generational team from top to bottom.
Where they lost Carlos Correa and
who won championship series MVP? Jeremy Pena, the man who replaced him.
They're
4 deep at starter. They're 3 deep at the back of the pen with Ryan Presley going out there and striking every motherfucker out. I'm going Astros at 4.
And also too, Dusty Baker deserves this one. Like, I would say hands down. I mean, the Astros are just too good, but
they're gonna win it all.
Yes, but Dusty Baker does deserve it, though. If we're just being real, let's just keep it real for that. So, but that finishes off all of our segments here for the We Got Action. Except this one's gonna be led by Vitor. He brought it up here, so we're gonna be talking about the NBA again a little bit, but more so deeper into the game. So, V, what do we got for our spicy take?
Keep it short, brother.
Yeah, the NBA basically is coming out, starting like a program, and it's like a respect in the game program.
It was just like no more Ja Morant grittying in front of
This is
Kevin Durant.
basically seems we're gonna take the personality out of basketball. We want you guys to be friends. We
Who's
want you guys to
pushing that?
respect each other. The NBA, they're wanting
Adam Silver.
probably Adam Silver.
No way.
They want to implement like
He's trying to lose his
through
job?
youth basketball all the way up the ranks into the NBA and all of that.
So pretty much like the gist of it is that it's more so like, again, V said, the respect of the game, but like not showing up the refs or like not being able to express really anything when it comes to that. So basically what it's turning into is turning into the NFL now. If we're
I didn't get that.
So
I got more of a sense of like, I want to say for like the fan experience and like for the youth aspect of the part, like that implementation is that I feel like when you're trying to create a more inclusive environment. So like,
yeah, I agree with
that's what I think where it starts at. Like if you look at the pillars, it's like empowerment, inclusivity, things like that. That's like the pillars of that, like what he's like proposed in a sense. I just think it's not taking the personality out the game. It's kind of like, one is checking the fans like, hey, like these are still people on the floor. But the fans people on the floor gotta understand these are still fans in a sense. Right. And like
it's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. So like, yeah, like you can do what you want to do. They're not trying to take the emotion out the game. I think it's like, one, let's like put a little hinder on it. Like, I don't need to be swearing on y'all fighting on the floor for no reason. When all we can do is just talk about the foul. You could still say, that's a bullshit call. Boom. Leave it at that. But like the jumping up and down and running to the other side of the court, coming back, going, what? And then you get to the youth basketball game, you got the same kids doing the same shit. You like, what if you put your ass over here? Like, it's trying to cut back on that. But I think it's just trying to create a more all-inclusive environment in the stadium, outside the stadium, and the programs that they have. That's what I got from it.
See, that was my question. Was I feel like, how are you going to stop the individualism?
Yeah, and I think
like you can't tell Ja Morant not to do.
It goes down to the roots of basketball, and a lot of the best players in the country. Where do they start? They start in parks, you know, in a lot of them lower income neighborhoods. Like, it's part of life, trash talking, you know, fights. Like, it happens. Same thing, soccer. You know, a lot of kids.
A lot of these guys have street ball roots.
A lot of kids grow up playing soccer, like again in the streets, out in the park, showing off.
And that's where legends are made.
And people like, and it's now considered disrespectful to do certain skills in front of people, or it's considered showboating. Basketball, you have a lot of, you know, the trash talk. I think the first one thing I did see though, which is a little counterpoint, is when the NBA guys were tweeting about this earlier today, one of the first responses I saw were, "This ain't it. You have to start with the refs respecting the players and the game first, because they're the ones who are being petty and affecting the outcome of games because of their feelings." Obviously, and so like, because one of their points, they have little bullet points on. I think it's promoting an environment of mutual respect in workplaces, arenas, and communities where players, coaches, and teams compete, and upholding the honor and dignity of all players, coaches, referees, fans, and staff, and setting a positive example for all stakeholders. So
I think that's kind of basically what Isaac was saying.
Yeah, but it seems like it's a thing where they want it to look good for the stakeholders, the cameras. They want it they want the money makers to be able to put more ads in and get more revenue. And I feel like that's taking away from the cores of roots of basketball, right? Like, that's not.
I feel you.
And I feel like it's a very organizational business move, not a sport move.
Yeah.
And
I think too, it's going to be very hard
that's
to take
part of it. I don't think that's the reason they're doing it.
No, but I think it's going to be very
part of it, but I don't think
it's going to be very hard to take the personality out though of these players.
They're not going to do it.
No, I don't think it has anything.
That's not the point. That's not what I don't think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to gain respect between fans, between refs, between officials, between players,
your stakeholders,
having not so and so calling out this person all the time, not so and so getting this ref's face all the time. It's trying to just have, and yes, like you said, a clean game. Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the personality.
It's gonna come down to the players on the court, and it's like, yes, the players. But if a player is fiery and like we saw when Tatum in the preseason disagree with the decision and went like this at the ref.
Okay, all right. Here you go. All right, I got something. Here we go. When you're going through you got an 82 game season. You have how long is each game? Like 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
2.5, yeah.
Hours. For 2 hours, you are a human being. You gonna tell me you're gonna call every call. That's the first thing. Still a human. Humans gonna make mistakes. Second thing is, for every 48 minutes during every 82 games, I have to deal with another star player looking at me doing this. On every time they either force the shot, like Luka forces a shot and goes and just stares at you like
James Harden, Draymond.
So when you're looking at the games in high school, we have like kids damn near about to attack referees.
Yeah, right.
Because you're watching what you're watching.
And I agree. I think that's
like,
what they're trying
to do. And one of the biggest things in here is it has nothing to do with ego. It's creating a positive relationship between the referees.
It's cleaning up the negativity that exists at the top part of the game, so the trickle down effect is cleaner into college, into high school, into AAU.
Yeah, I don't have to motherfuck the ref just to get a call. We can have a whole conversation. I'm trying to see what you're seeing. Like, that's what I do. Like, I found somebody, like, I got him on the body. Okay. Yeah, you got him on the body. Like, cool, I understand. But, like, yes, these, like, yes, they get paid to do this, but, like, I'm not going to be funny. Like, the game is soft, and we feel like it's soft because that's all they do is bitch for calls.
Ben Simmons foul.
And then when they get to the NBA playoffs and the game adjusts even more, and they letting shit go, and it's like, you just wanted me to call this, now y'all don't want me to call. Like, the players don't know what.
Respect and transparency. I think is
my thing is what is this like? Okay, they're trying to do this, and you can give great reasons as to why. How do they enforce this? Who is it going to come down to? Because I see it coming down to the players getting fined and suspended for actions that are considered breaking whatever they're trying to do.
I see it as a hothead crossing. Someone's going to cross the line, and then it's going to come.
I don't see referees getting punished for making emotional decisions and affecting the outcome of games for emotional decisions. I think
it's coming down to the final aspect. Will come down to it's going to come down
the game.
Exactly.
I don't think nobody's going to get fined for getting each other's faces. It's going to come down to when it's after the game. When it's after the game, or like we say something totally out of line, like Ben Simmons, like like he had a bad attitude. Like, yes, you explained what was going on during the game, but then you was about to like legit go off the rails. Like he was like, let me leave this podium before I say something I don't want to say. Like when you look at like a Draymond Green, who's just gonna say what he want to say. You don't need all that. Like that's the whole thing. I don't think it's like a rule. I think it's like a standard. Like, hey, let's try to live. Like when we on the floor, let's try to promote this. When we
I like that part.
But how do you enforce the standard?
That's when you got.
There's going to be. You have to think.
That's the adjustment period, right?
Well, it's not just about because the reality is right. If they said mutual respect, right, and I feel like that's something that lacks in sports, both whether it be player to player, in certain levels. I think player referee and referee to player.
Understand that a lot more.
Like player to player, referee to player, and player to referee. I think both. I think
you don't have any full control over
of course,
win or lose because that guy has the whistle in his mouth.
Yeah,
but like call the ticky tack and then you get pissed because you're going to lose now because of that.
Yeah, but like at what point, like
you just have to be able to control yourself.
What sort of like what do you mean? Like how do you set a standard within a sport, and at what point is breaking the standard?
Steph Curry.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's so dicey in terms of like, how are they going to do it? And I see the point. Like, what are they going to do? How are they going to do it? Are people going to be held accountable? Or is it just like a for show type of thing?
You bringing up the right questions. I just think since it's something so new, it's not something you can really attack off the bat. If I'm trying to make sure, I just want to. This is just a baseline. This is like
you made a great point with the adjustment,
and it's gonna keep coming, and as we adjust, you're gonna get more rules. You're gonna get different rules. Like then it's gonna be like this, like specific things we're looking out for. I just think like this is your baseline now.
There's no way that right away.
Yeah, they're not gonna be like. They're not gonna be like you complain about.
You do this, you're suspended. You're this and that. There's gonna be.
Like one way they could do it, like is everybody. If LeBron shows me up, yes, LeBron has to get that tech. It can't be like in the playoffs when we watch somebody. I forgot who was supposed to get 2 techs and they didn't get their second tech and they're supposed to be out the game. I think it was like Draymond or somebody like that.
Sounds like
in the middle of the play. Yeah, like it was the game. Just because it's like the playoff game.
Draymond did do this. He was screaming at but he did have a game last year.
Jaylen Brown thing, like he just had picked up a tech, and then he got into it with Jaylen Brown. Then he pulled Jaylen Brown pants down on the way up.
That was the one.
That was the one.
And then that's a tech. F the TV ratings. That's a tech. Yeah. Like that's the things that stops that. Like when all the Yeah, like, or you watch a Chris Paul game and we got freaking Scott Foster, and you realizing why Chris Paul can't win a game with Scott Foster. Like, it's no way. It's just no way. I don't think no other player in the NBA has a 0 and something record with a referee on the floor.
He's the only one. He's the only one. That's just crazy.
Unless it's like 0 and 1, 0 and 2.
Like Chris Paul is like 0 and like 30 with Scott Foster on the floor. Like it stays like that. That's like, all right, let's promote a positive relationship. This is actually coming based off of the damn documentary y'all watch to show like, hey, we need to fix this. This is like
I was about to say, I think it's trying to increase the integrity of the game.
Yep.
I think it's trying to increase that respect of the game, just like that trickle down effect. I think like 100% Vitor is asking the right questions of how they're going to implement, but you can say that with everything. Same with like some of the baseball stuff that they're doing this year and next year. It's always how you can implement it, but there's always an adjustment period. They'll always find ways to make it better.
But so the question is like, again, they talk about, where is it? Celebrating a climate of transparency, accountability, and fair and honest communication. Right. So we see this, and when we talk about specifically
Luka
the
does it a lot.
Specifically the player and referee relationship, where there's times where you see players trying to go to the referee like, hey man, like what did I do? And the refs are literally like, fuck off.
Sometimes.
Like,
and
you see
that's where the refs also have to do their part.
But
okay.
And I'm just saying, like,
that's where we said right away.
This is where you don't get
two-way street.
It's the two-way street, but also too, in my years of coaching and in my years as a player, a referee does not act out until it's like something very apparent. So like they might not be talking, we might not see them talking to the ref, but you damn near will hear them talking on the floor to each other like, that's a terrible call, but he won't look at the ref just to make sure it's not singled out. The referee hears that still. They on the floor with them. So like they still could probably complain under their breath. We don't hear that thing, those things. We see like the big blatant ones, like those one, like we see hands go up in the air. Or you got Luka staring you down for the whole goddamn play until he gets back on defense. And it's like, Luka, get back.
He be whispering in every rep's ear every
game. Or things like that. Or like every foul, Chris Paul has to walk up and then they clarify a rule. That's like,
in chapter
chapter 27, subsection
the NBA
4E.
It didn't say this was a carry. That is an illegal pick right there. Like, let the referee.
I like the scholar voice.
He's right. He's right.
I like the scholar voice for CP3.
Like, it's just a baseline for right now. Like, you ask all the right questions. It's just a baseline.
It's a good place to start.
I find it interesting just because, like, I feel like, I mean, it depends on how far they want to take it and who they want to hold responsible. And I guess that's where I'm like, why I like view it as such like a spicy take. It's like, and that's what we'd want, right? We'd want both. We'd want all parties. We want coaches, fans, players, referees, and anyone else involved held accountable for whatever may happen. Even media, right? The media has its fair share of issues when it comes to,
like, that's the part like I could say that's a critique. Like when you put in upholding the honor and dignity of all the players, coaches, referees, fans, and staff, you should put media in there. Because why? Like we just brought up Russell Westbrook. Like we only see Russell Westbrook Brad plays instead of seeing that he was just 16 points, 6 assists, like 8 rebounds. You don't see that because we still worry about him shooting the ball out of the backboard and the Lakers sucking. Like,
there was, I mean, there's a couple of games. He literally won 4 offensive rebounds on one possession and ended up taking the last shot and airballed it. The only clip I saw until I had seen that clip shared by someone was like, you're not going to see this part. Was the airball. And then later on, I end up seeing that, this man kept the possession alive while his teammates were bricking shots. And it's like, where's that for the media? But I think it's super interesting just because, like, sports are bred in competition, right, naturally. And obviously now they're businesses and they have to make money, keep an image and whatever else, they get involved in politics and stay away from certain other politics, depending on how it suits their images. But that's another story for another day, and that could be another spicy take at some point. But I think it intrigues me how they're going to try to, try to implement these like things, sportsmanship and integrity, accountability type of things into something that is rooted in competitiveness and like, desire to win. And
but I don't think it's not going to take.
It's not going to take the competitive mouse, but when you competitive with competitiveness comes.
They're not you competing against the man in front of you.
Yes,
and like as long as you're able to show respect to the other people around you, That's where they need to just be able to control themselves.
Yeah.
And I think there's a
Yep.
lot of superstars that are very good at that. And there's a lot of superstars that are very bad at that.
Yeah,
Correct.
I mean, we've seen it like when Steph's pretty good at it.
That's
and
why
we've
I
seen
said
it when
Steph
he acts
for me
out.
is the standard.
When he acts out,
Very
it's very
rarely he stands out, but it's also at very blatant where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this
like when
referee
he threw
hits
his
2,
when
3,
he
4
threw his
fucking balls.
mouthpiece, that was like all over social media.
Right, because that's not him.
Exactly.
And he
'Cause you
hasn't
like,
done
you know
shit
that's not
since.
Yeah.
Right, and you haven't done shit since because he set a baseline for himself.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Ironically, he's got the opposite end of the spectrum right next to him, but
exactly.
The man's beyond the opposite end.
yeah, that was good.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode number 21. Again, check out all of our socials. We are very close to 100 followers on Instagram. So anybody who's listening, if y'all haven't followed us, it's We Got Action Podcast on Instagram. We are keeping up with our TikToks as well. Also posting some more freelance ones too. So not just clips from our podcast or anything like that. Download on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also, Spreaker.com is where you'll be able to look up where all of our links are at to any downloadings of our podcast or anything like that. So feel free to tune in, show some love. But this is the end of the episode, y'all. And we will see you guys next week. Next Wednesday is when we'll upload this episode tomorrow at 9 a.m., which will be Wednesday, the 26th of October. And we'll be back with another episode next week for you guys. We are going to also work on getting back our guests as well. I know we had that week off.
Gotta get Dave on at least once.
I got somebody now too.
Yeah,
That
we
too.
will. We'll work that out. So we're gonna try and work to have somebody next week, if not the following week after, so we can get back on this train of having guests, so that way you guys can hear some different personalities on here just besides ours. But thank you all for tuning in. Download the episode. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll be back next week. Peace out, y'all.